Hey, 1% Nation. You're watching the 1% Engineer Show. I'm Jake Voorhees. We're going live here on Saturday afternoon, incorporating this into the show a little bit more. So today, what we're going to be talking about, so I'm going to let the chat fill up a little bit. Say what's up if you just joined. But what we're going to be talking about mostly today is how to choose the right engineering major. It's the most common question that I get for sure. So we'll see what types of questions we get related to that today. But before, what's up, Zoe? Got some people in here already. Before we really get rolling, I want to precursor all this. What's up, MD? How are you? Nice to see you. I want to precursor this with the foundation of my theory behind choosing the right major. What's up, Christian? Is that you have to choose something that you're passionate about and interested in. Instead of looking at salaries, instead of looking at job market type forecasts. What's up, Harsh? What's up, Emmanuel? What's up, Darion? What's up, Kosi? What's up, Colin? What's up, guys? If you guys are still trying to choose your engineering major, let me know. I want to make sure that there's enough people who want to listen to this type of themed stream before we get rolling, because we can take any questions at any time. But this is just the most common thing that I get, guys, is how do I know if I'm in the right, even for people who are almost finished, for people who are just getting started or even in the middle of their student journey. I just get this question so much. They're not sure if they're in the right one. They don't really even know that they don't even fully understand the impacts. What's up, Paul? What's up, Lewis? Of what it might mean to choose electrical over computer, or can I actually go into aerospace if I choose mechanical? So I want you guys to go ahead and mention in the chat right now if this is something that you're thinking about, if this is something that you, even if you're in school, that you're, considering right now, and this is a part of your thought process right now. Are you trying to make sure you're in the right major? Because it's just the most common thing that I get. Architecture is good, Harsh. If you, the way that I suggest for people is if you are into infrastructure and buildings and into design, but you're not the best at math and physics type stuff, you should consider architecture. What's up, Marina? What's up, Sam Lee? What's up, Renelf? Ruben, how are you? What's the difference between mech and mechanical tech? So are you talking about mechanical technician or mechanical technology? Because you guys, if you see a major that says something engineering technology, that's still a 4-year accredited program. But it's a little bit more hands-on, it's a little bit more applied, it's a little bit more working with the implementation of the devices. It's still engineering, but you don't have the same type of career trajectory. Now, technician is a 2-year thing. That's an associate's degree. It depends. MD Nithin, so this is the point of, MD Nithin says, is it good to have work experience before doing your major? And that's the point of internships. You're kind of testing to make sure that this is the right path for you. You're making sure that this is the right niche for you within mechanical or civil or whatever that you are, because every major choice has this branch of 3 to 5 or even more options. Mechanical has so many. And it allows you, the internships allow you, or volunteer experience with your professors, it allows you to ensure that you're in the right one. That's pretty much what they're for. If you're in high school and you want to start talking with professional engineers or try to get a job, even like the most simplest of thing, but working in an engineering office doing something, even like shadowing for a couple hours a week, you can start to figure out if that really piques your interest. So these are good questions. Guys, if I miss your question, just relink it in the chat and say, you missed my first question, okay? And then I can get to whatever. So if you guys are just jumping in here, I see we almost have 30 people live. That's awesome. Let me know. Does audio sound good enough? Probably should be. I'm kind of working with this different setup. What we're talking about today is how you can choose the right engineering major for you. I think you have to choose something that you're passionate and interested, just intrigued by, and sparks your curiosity. That's the first thing. That's the first thing to consider. And then the second thing to consider is your skill set, right? So if you hate coding, you're afraid of it, you're not that good at it, you probably shouldn't consider electrical engineering or computer engineering, and definitely not software engineering, because those are heavily related to coding and programming. So as long as there's specific questions, I'm going to get right to those because I think they can cross-apply between the majors. So Christian, great question. I get a couple of these questions right now. I have a video coming out about choosing double majoring and potentially minoring. So if you want to minor, his question is, would a computer science minor help in addition to mechanical engineering major for automation? Absolutely right. Definitely. Now, you don't even necessarily have to achieve that minor. I think if you plan ahead and you can choose your tech electives to be coding classes, you can most likely take a minor or achieve a minor and not have to do an extra semester or an extra year. Definitely not an extra year. But I encourage people to minor in business or computer science, or something that's really going to give them an advantage, a career boost, if they don't have to use extra time. So if you can plan it into your existing schedule, if you're already in a 4-year program, try to squeeze it into 4. Same thing with double majoring. If there's a way, like at Delaware, the difference between a computer engineer and an electrical engineer was like 4 credits. So you could take tech elective courses. Say you're an electrical engineer, your tech electives would be computer engineering courses. You could double major within the same 4 years because the degrees were just that similar. So that's a good way to do it. Man, Sadak, I got your question right now. He says, physics, astronomy, engineering, what should we choose if we want to be an astronaut and an astrophysicist for NASA? Yeah, I recognize you from the Mars generation. So it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter what you do for your undergrad, honestly, because most astronauts go on and get a PhD in something. So you should not be thinking that far out. You should always be thinking about the next step. Like, I see so many people doing what you're kind of doing right now, like at least with a career goal. I like that you have a career goal, but I see so many young students who aren't even finished high school, like trying to pick out what PhD is the one for them. There's no way to know. You have to just do one thing at a time. Like if you like physics enough right now, for example, all 3 of those, physics, astrophysics, or some sort of engineering, most notably mechanical or aerospace engineering, all of those could create a career trajectory to become an astronaut. It really depends on 2 things. If you still think that that's in your future to be an astronaut, you'll know along your undergraduate journey, and then you will choose the right PhD that's going to make you most eligible, whether that's mechanical engineering or just a pure PhD in physics. So just one step at a time, guys. Don't get too far ahead of yourselves. What's up, Albert? Do some shout-outs right now. What's up, Carmen? What's up, Mohammed, Kareem, Albert, MD Nithin, Sam Lee? What's up, guys? If I miss your question, just link it back into the chat, because I'm looking at the whole thing. I have it on a sidebar. And let me know that, hey, you missed my question. Here it is again. I think, Renelf, if you have a parent who's a type of engineer, I see a lot of, like, I'm an engineer because my dad is in the construction field. He builds stuff. Talk to them more about other branches. Like, don't assume that structural is for you, but just you have a really good, almost like a human encyclopedia about engineering major choices and career choices. What's up, Albert? So this is a 1% Engineers Show stream, and if you have any question in engineering specifically related to choosing your major, drop it in the chat. Carmen, what's the future perspective on mechanical engineering? I've heard that electrical and computer are really hot right now. Great question, but how about mechanical? So mechanical engineering is always going to be around. Like, even in a world where we have nothing but nanobots and really, really, really small things, mechanical engineers are still going to design and test and R&D all of the mechanical components in anything that is an actual device. So we're talking about stuff related to solar industry. We're talking about all the things that are related to the robotics industry, right? So mechanical is just as intertwined in with software, computer, electrical. That's really where the new Mechatronics major comes from. It's a merger between mechanical things and electronics. So it's kind of like a mechanical and electronic and really computer engineering major all built together. So mechanical has a great future. I did a cool video that was well received on what do mechanical engineers do. And there's more mechanical engineers that graduate each year than any other type of major because you have so many different options for your career. You can literally work in any field that you like. So it's pretty good. Kelvin, electrical is pretty good. I'm actually building the script for what do electrical engineers do. So stay tuned for that. Elia, shout out to you. Everton, what's up, man? How you doing? Everton says, I landed a chemical engineering co-op interview. Great. I have lots of videos on what to do for internship interviews and even regular job interviews. So just go to the channel and go to the video where you can query and type in interview. There's like 3 or 4 videos on that. I talk about questions, how to dress, all types of stuff. What's up, Passion? What's up, Harsh? So, what's the difference between computer engineering and technology? So this is a common thing. The difference between an pure engineering, and an engineering technology major. So the technology is going to be more about the implementation of the technology, the hands-on part. So maybe working with servers and maybe working with the components related to a computer, like doing more R&D testing, these types of things. Whereas computer engineering itself is going to be a little higher level, a little bit more theoretical, so you can actually apply that to whatever part of the workflow within the career that you choose. So if you really like to tinker, if you really like to build and mess with stuff and actually implement things, then the technology avenue is probably for you. That being said, I think that there is some sort of disparity. Like if you have an engineering technology major, I don't think they get paid as much. I don't think it's as hard. Like you don't have as much of the theoretical math courses, so you just aren't compensated as well. So if you're somebody who really likes to build an R&D, and I suggest that people who want to be on like a managerial, corporate, climb the ladder type person, don't do the technology degree. Just not considered the same. And it doesn't really make sense for you to have that skill set and then not be a team manager, a project leader. No problem, Christian. Carlos says, what's up, Carlos? So I just released a video like a week and a half ago called What Do Engineers Do? Iron Man is on the front, human version of Iron Man. And that video has over 1,000 views. Check it out. I break down the 12, guys, if you're in the stream right now and you're a mechanical engineer, you're not sure, I break down 12 different sub-industries in mechanical engineering within that video, so go check that out for sure. It has like a dark red thumbnail color. Smoked Ham, what's up? Guys, if this is your first time here, go ahead and shout that out in the chat. This is one of the highest amount of people I've ever had in a stream. And make sure you subscribe. I release videos like 2 or 3 times a week. So hit the bell, subscribe, make sure you don't miss anything. Smoked Ham, would I recommend Mechatronics as a good major, or is it too broad to be used in the industry? No. So Mechatronics is a unique major. It's something that is literally just coming up right now. We need mechatronics people to work in the robotics sector. That's really what mechatronics is. It's a combination of mechanical engineering and electrical engineering and electronics, really to create the whole picture of using engineering controls, automation, the actual design of something. Computer vision generally is associated along with machine learning and AI. So mechatronics is a really good major. It's not too broad. It has to be broad because it is like a full systems perspective. Whereas a mechanical engineer involved in the robotics industry may design the components, specific parts for that robot, for that mechatronics application. So what is your question about aerospace engineers, guys? Kareem, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the question is electrical engineering major, what will have the most job opportunities? Most likely somebody who starts to focus on an industry that you know has a bright future, like working in the solar industry is going to be really good, working in aerospace, working in nanotech. I think it's more about the sector, because the types of electrical engineers, I mean, some electrical engineers are actually going to work with testing and R&D, the electronic systems. So I think low voltage engineers have a high job potential in the future, also high voltage. So engineering technology in general, again, you have that avenue within electrical engineering. We're still going to need people to test and mess with nanobots. So I think the broad spectrum, just like mechanical, anything electrical engineering is going to be good because we see growth, and we see future in that sector for sure. Whereas I'm actually not that bullish on, meaning like positive, optimistic, healthy growth on things like petroleum engineering. I don't know. I think they still make good money, but chemical engineering, another thing, because of the growth in computer and nano and electrical engineering, chemical engineering doesn't really have the brightest of futures compared to the rest. Smoked Ham. So you were asking me about mechatronics is a good industry. So if you're interested in mechatronics, if you're interested in robotics, it's going to be a good future for sure. So Yoga member says jog field and chemical paint technology diploma. So that's not really like a full engineering degree. That seems like a certificate program to work in a specific thing. So I'm not really going to speak to that a whole lot. If you want to get a associate's or sort of community college degree first and then go into full engineering university, that's one thing that I talk about a whole lot. But in terms of some sort of diploma, I assume that means a certificate. And it's really just not, I don't think it's the right path if you want to be a full engineer. It could be, unless you mean a 2-year diploma, like a 2-year school, it could be. Gabriel, what's up? Shout out to you. Paul, hey, how you doing? Tommy Williams, how you doing? Guys, if I miss your questions, just relink them. Elijah, is it possible to choose 2 specializations like transportation and structural? No, I would discourage that. So I'm a civil engineer. I went down the transportation route because the reality is this. When you get a job, you're going to be hired for a team that does one thing. They either work in transportation, and within transportation, like I'm even more specific than that. I chose the traffic route. I don't really design the highways and work with the roadways. So Elijah, if you're still in here, go ahead and mention drop a line in the chat so I know to keep this part of the convo going. Okay, Paul, Harsh, you have to re-mention the question if I missed it. So I got it though. So Harsh says, my brother wants to do urban design and town planning after his bachelor's degree in civil. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I made a video about the future of civil engineering and if it's a good path to take. The truth is this, we're booming as a human race in society. So we are always going to need more infrastructure. We always are going to need more buildings and bridges and all types of things to keep our population growing. So that means all the drainage stuff, all the roadways, managing the coastlines, making sure that we have a healthy environment. Like environmental engineers and water resources engineers is a part of civil engineering. So just as we grow as humans, we're always going to need civil engineers. So it's a great field for sure. Elijah, no problem. Mohammed says you're interested in both civil and mechanical as a major. That's fine. I see that question a lot. Since mechanical is a diverse subject, so is civil though. That's a good question. So I actually have a friend who has. So the question really is, if I get a bachelor's in mechanical, can I work as a civil engineer? Yeah. So I have a good friend, Corey Tista. Shout out to you. He is a mechanical engineering working as a civil. So you still, as a mechanical engineer, like in his situation, he's really not even using his mechanical expertise within civil engineering. He's just working as a civil engineer because the truth is when you start your job, and I can speak to this as well, but you will learn so much on the job. You will apply your degree in the sense that you'll have to figure things out and utilize your problem solving skills. But in terms of all the specific things you learned in school, it's really just getting you ready for the next step. So you can apply all your mechanical. What's up, David Plotnick? You can apply all your mechanical learning and thinking and problem solving to the civil landscape in terms of a professional career, and also you can apply your mechanical engineering expertise to civil. For example, let's talk about Corey's company. Corey's company does like stormwater runoff and drainage type stuff. There's a lot of actual components and pieces and things that need to be designed to actually be installed. Even my company, I have mechanical engineers because we're in the building and the infrastructure industry. We hire mechanical engineers to work on the heating and the cooling and the systems within the civil engineering type of industry. So there's definitely ways to cross-apply. This is also why I tell people to don't really get too bent out of shape about the major that you choose, because if you need to pivot and if you need to evolve your major choice in your career along the way, it's very common for engineers to do this. So don't worry too much. Thanks for that question. Great question. Elijah, this is a good question too. Do I see geographic information systems or GIS as a good minor within transportation? Absolutely. So again, you don't necessarily even have to choose it as a minor. You can just take a bunch of tech electives and put that stuff on your resume and maybe build a good portfolio of GIS projects, which is what I've done as a professional. But yeah, if you can find a way, here's my view on minoring. If you can find a way to not take an extra semester at all, so not an extra semester, and even if you double major, not an extra year, and then capture a minor within something that blends well, like adds to a skill set within a major choice, absolutely do it. GIS has a super healthy future. Part of the reason is because we have so much data out there. Our data multiplication rate, like we have something like in the last 2 years, 90 or 95% of all world data has been collected. So it's just moving exponentially, and GIS is a industry that capitalizes on that for sure. Khalifa says, thanks for all the questions, guys. Guys, I want you guys to do 1% engineer shout-outs. Go ahead and mention, especially if this is your first time here, where you're from and what type of engineering is your favorite or the type of engineer that you are. Go ahead and drop in the chat. And if I missed your question, just mention your question again. Yeah, Christian, for sure. It's definitely important to associate yourself with go-getters. Definitely helps to be more productive. Absolutely. These people, your network is like the biggest asset you have. That's like the biggest thing that you can do for yourself in college is to connect with successful people, not only students, but connect with the professors and also all the people that you meet. Like, take advantage of the fact that you're a student and you go to all these career events and industry events and job fairs, and you really connect with, like, every time there's an event and there's a speaker who comes in or multiple speakers, ask as many questions as you can, or ask at least one during the presentation, during the event, and then chat with that person afterwards and connect with them. Grab their business card, follow up, stay connected. Bella, thanks for the question. As an engineer, do you think it's difficult to conciliate your job and your life? Do I think you have to neglect your family and dedicate yourself entirely to your career? Absolutely not. Definitely not. I think that if you can find a way to be passionate and very interested in your career choice, your career avenue, so that you're really excited about it. And for example, when you get home, you're keeping up with the industry and you're just excited to like stay tuned into what's going on and what all the companies are doing. And like, I use this for an example. We're trying to build a drone program at work, and if you're that passionate about, say, either surveying or like app marketing and like project visualization, using a drone to blend in with your career, then you might actually buy one and test on the side. You might be reading about the legislation. You might be picking up the credentials, taking the licensure tests and things like this, because we have some people in my company who want to start a drone program as engineers, and they're not putting in that extra. Like, they don't want it bad enough to go out and really just be testing and messing around, right? So this is a good thing. So you don't need to neglect your family. I don't think that's really good. Because if you talk to all the people who just invested in their career and didn't have the best family life, when they get old, they're going to say that they regretted that. I've seen too many people say this. Dan says, advice for a future UK civil engineering student wanting to work in the U.S. after you graduate. Dan, I just think that you have to build connections on LinkedIn with people from the UK who are in the US, who are maybe engineering professors in the US. Dan, if you're still in the chat, go ahead and mention this so I can talk about this. Because if you can build relationships with a professor who has that connection with you, like, hey, we're from the same country. I don't know if you're from England or you're from Australia or Ireland, but if you can connect with somebody they have rapport with you just because you're from the same country, then they might give you a shot and they might let you into their program. Paul, it's okay. So ECE, part of the reason why I didn't answer your question is because, what is that? Electronics and computer engineering. So I think that's a great major. Anything electrical, software, computer, or mechanical in general, all great. Bella, no problem. If you have another question, let me know. So ECE, Paul, great major choice for sure. Colts fan forever. That's funny. Jake, any insight on how interrelates cryptography? What is cryptography or cryptography? What is that? Are you talking about cryptocurrency? Khalifa, I like architecture and management, but for further and masters, I don't know what research. You need to have a specific question. What's your question, Khalifa? DP, thanks for the question. I've been trying to figure out different things to do within time management. So I'm wondering, how do I manage my time? How do I manage my tasks? I think the biggest thing within time management is you just make your list. And what's the one thing that's the hardest that you don't want to do, that you put off, that you are reluctant to start? And usually that thing also will make all the other things on your list easier to do if you complete that. So figure out what that is. Like, whatever you're putting off, whatever is the biggest, like, you just don't want to do it. Either it's frustrating, it's time consuming, whatever. Like, I think if you do that first, you'll start on this snowball effect. I don't really use the Pomodoro technique, like work for 25 minutes and then a 5-minute break, or 50-minute session and then a 5-minute break. I don't really do that because I don't really work that way. Like, I feel like I actually can. When I'm ready to focus, I feel like I can focus for longer. But I have to turn off distractions. Like, I put my phone on silent. I close my email browser. I close my Facebook alerts. Like I think you just have to like find a way to get yourself to focus by turning off all the other distractions, but then take breaks, right? Like, and then take a break from that and play a phone game for 5 minutes and then go back to it. I just think like finding your balance is really good. What's up, Clay Peter? Thanks for stopping by. What's up, Mohammed? What's up, Michael? Who else is in here that's new? If this is your first time here, guys, did anybody mention where they're from? Yeah, from Spain. Marina says from Spain. Mechanical. Oscar says from Sweden. Passion says New York City. And engineering and technology student. That's awesome. Smoked Ham, I'm going to get to your question right now. I don't see you reposting it. What else you guys got? Still a high school student? PMP or structural engineering. So, what is that? PMP is like project management. I doubt you can major in project management in a 4-year. If you do, then what that really means is that as a project manager, you can work in multiple fields. So I'm curious to see if you actually can. What I think of Hitler, you're getting booted for that. Or muted. DP, I was actually thinking about specifically managing time. What systems do I use? Honestly, I don't use any. That's just the way that I roll. Like, I think I can, usually the things that I'm working on, like, I don't have to manage my time. It's really like, what's the biggest thing I need to do right now and get accomplished today? And I make a list, and if I can do that first thing, I move on to the second thing. So in terms of time management, I really think specifically, I think of the Pomodoro technique. Set a timer. Work for 30 minutes, break for 5 minutes. Turn off distractions. Actually block into your calendar that this is when I'm going to do this. Like, plan, chunk your time. I'm going to study for this hour. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, 10-minute break. I'm going to do the next thing for an hour. Those are my 3 things. Turn off distractions. Do the top down. Do the thing that you need to do the most important. Crush it down, and then chunk your time, block your time, schedule your time to work on certain projects or study for certain assignments. What's up, Valentina? Awesome, guys. Aerospace engineering, Tommy Williams definitely has a good future. Check out what's happening, right? SpaceX, Blue Origin, all the space initiatives. It's so much cheaper to launch satellites in outer space right now. I think anything aerospace is really good. Mars colony initiatives, mining asteroid type initiatives, more moon research initiatives. What else do we got? Yeah, you're out. You're out, bro. See ya. I wish it deleted messages too. Remove. There you go. Wow. So YouTube needs to find a way to, like, I have anti-spam turned on, guys. So YouTube needs to have algorithms that capture that stuff and just don't even allow it to be sent. Carmen, thanks for the question. How hard is it to have a job as an engineer in the space industry? Not necessarily hard. I mean, you need to be a boss because it's really important. Mech and aerospace, more specifically, yeah, both of those. So mechanical engineering and aerospace engineering are both paths to working in space. She says she's assuming Europeans have a hard time in American companies. Not necessarily, right? Like, I know that these baller companies, Amazon and Google and SpaceX, they hire engineers from all around the world. I think if you stand out in your home country or you go to grad school in the U.S., like, those are both paths to the U.S. And Carmen, also, you should just network with people who work at these companies. Like, I'm a board member for the Mars Generation. I'm a student space ambassador board for the Mars Generation. So connect with me, figure out how to become a part of the Mars Generation, network with that group. It's like over 1,000 students around the world. And you can probably build a relationship with somebody who works at SpaceX, and then you can use that relationship to get an internship and go from there, right? So it's all about networking. It's all about who you know. Random Funds, what's up? Shout out to you. Man, I can't believe this person is still in here. I thought I booted you. There we go. I think I did something now. I'm trying to. Yeah, he's gone. Boot and report. Harassment. This person is harassing me. Reported. Goodbye. I hope your account or your YouTube account is deleted forever. Okay. Yeah. Next question, guys. GG. Yeah, exactly. Goodbye. Okay, guys. What do we have here? Dude, Jason Voorhees. Yeah, Jason Voorhees was the name of the Friday the 13th guy. So, awesome question. What's up, Clay Peter? Yeah, it's good that you finally get to watch the live stream. What's the hardest class I ever took in college, guys? Calc 2. Don't mess with Calc 2. Physics 2 is really hard as well. If you have to take thermodynamics, that will be your hardest class. If you get a degree, Muhammad says, if you get a degree in mechanical, can I work as a structural and civil engineer? Yep, you can help design the components and work with the testing of the steel within civil and structural engineering. What's up, Michael from Kenya? First year in electrical engineering, shout out to you. That's awesome. Khalifa says, I like architecture and management, but for the future masters, I don't know which research I should do. You just have to pick a research topic that you're passionate about, you're excited about. That's my biggest tip for that. What else we got? Some new questions. Is there any job for a fresher in civil engineering in my country? Nope. This channel is not about helping people in international communities get jobs. It's really hard. The way that you do that is you build relationships with people who probably hire people from whatever country you're from. So connect with those people on LinkedIn, connect with those people in, like, there's communities about helping you get jobs. That's not what this platform is about. This platform is to give you advice on how to have a great career. There's no way, I don't have enough expertise in helping international people get hired in the West. I don't know how to do that. My biggest advice is to connect with people on LinkedIn from your country who have already done what you're trying to do. That's my biggest advice. If there's somebody in a position, in a role, in a graduate spot at a university, is a professor, whatever, who has done what you're trying to do, connect with them, build a good relationship with them, and find other people who've also done it and figure out how they did it and reverse engineer it and then do what they did. Can an engineer from Haiti work in the U.S.? Renolf, no different than anyone else. I think that if you stand out and you crush it in whatever you're doing in Haiti as an engineer, you can get a spot in the U.S., whether that means grad school, whether that means working professionally. Same thing. You just have to build relationships with maybe Haitian engineers who are working in the U.S. and are doing what you're trying to do, and just stand out and crush it, and you'll be able to do it. What is cryptography? So I saw this question already. I need to Google it. So, cryptography, like, I don't know, is that map stuff? Solving codes. Interesting. So I think things like cybersecurity might be involved with cryptography. I really don't know, to be honest. My sweet Vancouver mug, guys, because I lived and worked in Vancouver for 4 years. So random questions, guys. I want to also hear questions related to, I'm a civil engineer. I want to hear questions related to, like, your biggest struggles. And look back, what were your biggest problems in 2017? What were you trying to figure out the most? What did you struggle to understand? Not course related, but just like maybe if it's related to choosing the right major, but just anything in general. So Gabriel, within civil engineering, I did a video about civil engineering. What do civil engineers do? And I broke down the 5 niches, the 5 categories, the 5 submarkets within civil engineering, because transportation is one of the 5. They are structural, environmental, transportation, coastal, and geotechnical. So stuff that's under the ground. And water resources kind of has its path within environmental engineering. I got a good comment on that video. They said, hey, why didn't you do water resources? Well, that's a part of environmental engineering, really, which is a part of civil engineering. Even though you can, depending on the school, you can major in environmental engineering if you want. My school didn't have it. It was combined with civil. Audio sounds good, guys. Audio check. How did I pass Calc 2? I had to take it twice. That was the only class I had to take twice. So, guys, don't worry if you fail a class. Just retake it. It's fine. And if you have the ability to drop it, like if you take, usually you'll have the ability to take the first exam, and then you still have the opportunity to withdraw or drop the course. I withdrew from computer science because it was so hard and took a W, which it doesn't take the grade. And then I switched it up, but for Calc 2, I went all the way to the end, took the final, and I didn't fail it. I got like a D or something. And for my major choice, for like the core classes within civil engineering, you had to get at least a C. So I had to retake it. So don't worry too much about that if you have to do it. It's just a part of the journey, guys. But the way that you ensure not having to retake it is figure out early if you're not ready for that class, if your schedule is too heavy, and then just be real with yourself. Like, hey, is this going to be too crazy? Should I just drop this class? Should I withdraw from this class? Like, it's okay. Biomedical Engineering, Mew, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Vanille, thanks for stopping by. Michael Natron, I think this is your first time here. Guys, if this is your first time here to the channel, make sure you subscribe because I release 2 or 3 videos a week so you guys can crush it in your careers. Biomedical engineering is definitely a good major. So, Mew, I want to make sure you head over to 1%engineer.com because I have a student who's written like 16 blog articles about biomedical engineering, all types of companies, all types of paths, good schools, all types of stuff. So that's Hamza Wahid, and he's a biomedical engineering or aspiring biomedical engineering student. Random funds. So the reason why biomedical engineering is good is because it's so, I mean, first of all, it's in health. It's connected to health, right? It's connected to pharmaceuticals. It's connected to prosthetics. It's connected to nanobots in health. It's connected to any sort of components that go into surgical devices, anything at all that is related to healthcare in general. So it's a field that is going to always grow, is always serious, always has a lot of money surrounding it, especially in the West, most specifically in America. Should I take AP anatomy for a biomedical engineer? Yes. It depends. What type of biomedical engineering do you want to do? Like, if you want to go into pharmaceuticals, it doesn't matter. So anatomy is like what the body is made of, right? So if you want to go into the health, into like prosthetics, making artificial limbs, yeah, that's a good mix. But you have to consider, like, you have to see if it fits into what you want for your career. So just understand that, like, you don't really benefit yourself. You don't really build skills for your career unless you go into something related to the body, right? So you can go into healthcare and other things that are not related to the body. Like, you could be a biomedical engineer and design robotics things that do surgeries on the body, which, yeah, anatomy is still important in that regard, but it would be more important for somebody who's working with prosthetics, maybe working with stuff that is related to nanobots in the body. It's definitely not a bad course to take. I think it is a good fit no matter what, but random funds. Do you have a student on the website who's written about electrical or computer engineering? Not really. Random funds. Are you in the Facebook group? Guys, that's the point of the Facebook group. You can see how to find it in the description below, and also you can see what it's called, group/1%engineer. That's what that is for. We talk about all the types of things like that because I can't relate to like the exact student experience or professional experience in electrical or computer engineering, but I've built this tribe. There's over 500 people in the Facebook group, so go ahead and join that. Bella, do I think it's better to have more general degree like mechanical engineering or more specific one like mechatronics? Well, Bella, depending on your country, I checked out how many mechatronics undergraduate programs exist. Even in the US, there's not that many. So mechatronics is more of a specialty. So if you are one of the lucky ones that can either get a full ride to a mechatronics school, or there's one in your state and you don't have to pay out-of-state tuition, and you are absolutely in love with robotics and anything mechanical, anything related to electronic systems combined, which is what mechatronics engineering is, then sure, go to it. But it's not bad to get a mechanical engineering degree and then end up working in mechatronics for your profession. That's fine. Like, you don't really isolate yourself. This is one thing that students need to know. You don't really isolate yourself in the major that you choose. Okay, in the general major like mechanical or electrical or aerospace, you don't really limit yourself. Once you start going down a niche avenue, what's up, Qual? Once you start going down a niche avenue, if you stay in that niche too long, you're starting to isolate yourself. But you always have the ability to pivot and move around, so it's totally fine to do that. Cool. Shout out to you. Thanks for stopping by another live stream. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button on this live stream right now. I don't even know if it's there, but that will help other engineers find this stream right now. So smash that live stream. Maybe even drop the link of the stream into an engineering friends Facebook chat, or just shoot them the message right now. Have them jump on, have their questions be answered, guys. It's sort of a cool platform to just get your engineering questions answered live. So Kjell says, civil or civil and environmental engineering, what's the advantage and disadvantage? So they're the same. Kjell, if that university has a big enough demand for both majors, they will have both majors. So, for example, a university that has a dedicated environmental engineering program, if that's what you know you want to do and that's what you love, then choose the environmental engineering program. Now, if you're in a state or if you're in an area where your options are just civil and environmental engineering and you want to be an environmental engineer and it means paying more money to seek out a pure environmental engineering program, just go to the civil and environmental engineering one. It's okay. I think that, honestly, if you stand out and you crush it as a student, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be able to work in whichever one you want. If you end up in a program that is civil and environmental and you know that environmental is for you, just make sure that your tech electives, make sure that your internships, make sure that the relationships with your professors is all leaning on the environmental engineering side. That's what's important. DP, related to Bella's question, I'm interested in aerospace, but should I major in mechanical just in case I can't find a job in aerospace? Yeah, actually, that's exactly what you should do. I would encourage you not to do it as a safety mechanism because that's kind of like a self-defeated attitude. If your attitude is that you're not going to get a job in a certain field, then you won't, because then that means you're not going to be able to put in the time. You're not going to be able to really have the confidence to crush those interviews and really say all the things you need to say during your job and during your phone interviews. So don't believe that if you want that job in that industry, you're going to have it. Have the confidence, guys. That's the first step. So if you really want that job in aerospace, become an aerospace engineer, because it also makes you a little bit more credible, a little bit more educated in that regard, a little bit more connected. You have a slight advantage for sure. But it's definitely not it's too challenging to cross between mechanical and aerospace. So if you're going to be a mechanical engineer and you want to do aerospace, just make sure that you take all your tech electives within thermal combustion, because thermal and engines and things like that is one of the three pillars of mechanical engineering. The other two are manufacturing and design of components, and then heating and cooling systems within infrastructure. So that's also a way that a mechanical engineer could branch into civil engineering. You could go into the heating and cooling systems, not the thermal combustion, but just the thermal systems within infrastructure. That's a way that you can bridge that. So this is why, for example, last year in 2017, there were 125,000 mechanical engineering graduates in the U.S. alone. It's the most widespread type of engineering major because they can work in all these different industries. And this is the case for almost every major choice, guys. Electrical engineers can end up working as software engineers, can work as computer engineers can work in those two as well. So these things cross-apply. You're not putting yourself into a box. I think it's just appropriate that you get it kind of right. Just get it sort of right, just get it pretty close, okay? And then you can sort of figure out your way as you evolve. Joel, shout out to you. I know you've been on other streams. Thanks for stopping by. What else do we got here? Mohammed, can civil engineers design dampers and prevent earthquake shocks? Absolutely. So what you would want to do, Mohammed, if you really want to work in that, you would major in civil engineering, you would focus in structural engineering, and I know people who've gotten master's degrees within structural engineering and then focused on earthquake applications, or even get their PhDs within seismic applications. I actually dated a girl who went to Delaware. She was a civil engineer. Yeah, we were an engineering couple, guys. We were sitting next to each other in class. It was fine. She was super smart and got way better grades than me and all my friends. But she went on to UC Davis in California. I think a lot of these schools are in seismic areas. And she got her PhD in structural engineering, worked on settling foundations so that a bridge settles over time and doesn't break due to earthquakes. It just kind of goes with the punches. So that's how I would suggest that you get into earthquake-related design. I'm not sure if I like this new mic stand, guys. You can see me moving it around. Does it look cool, though? Probably looks cool. I hope it looks cool, even though I don't really care. I'm looking for the way just to have the best audio. I don't know about leaning down on the bench or on the desk. Joel Peters says, this is a great question. I want to do more with renewable and alternative energy. Should I do environmental engineering or electrical engineering? Joel, it depends what you want to do, right? If you want to work with solar and if you want to design stuff that or work with the electrical systems within solar. Like anything sustainable in engineering, electrical engineers can work with. Environmental engineers, I don't think so. Like environmental engineering really starts to be more about like water treatment and like runoff and wetlands. That's really what it's about. So in terms of sustainability engineering, I really think that a lot of engineers are working with the buildings or the sustainable systems within green energy and a green future and that type of sustainability. I don't think they connect it with like the sustainability of our environment. That is, like, environmental engineering is a part of the sustainability picture, but I just don't think that that's what you want. So let me know, like, do you want to work with the environment, or do you want to work with the pieces and the components and the systems that are connected to sustainability engineering? Let me know. Adrian, thanks for stopping by. I know you've been in other live streams, live chats. Can I explain the role of a systems engineer? It depends. So systems engineer, I mean, there's so many. I think you'd have to talk about a certain industry. I mean, systems engineer, I think it really does depend. I'm just going to see what the general definition is and then connect my knowledge to that. But I really think it's working at like broad picture type applications. So you could have a systems engineer that works in any field. See, what it says is systems engineering is an interdisciplinary field, meaning lots of different disciplines of engineering and engineering management that focus on how to design and manage complex systems over their life cycles. So like, just like I had an instinct towards, but systems engineering can be applied to any industry. So I think that that's important. And if you look at like, you know, Wikipedia, it has all these different holistic view, interdisciplinary field. So I think it really, I mean, I don't think you can major in systems engineering. Like maybe, like my favorite way to check, you go to abet.com to check like how widespread the type of engineering major is that you want. ABET accredited engineering. Let's see, what do we got here? I wish I could show you guys. I'm not going to mess with the chat. Systems engineering. Search it in just 4-year programs because I'm sure there's some graduate programs. Actually, there's 69 programs. Wow, I'm impressed. So that is a pretty widespread. And just so you guys know, like civil engineering, there's like 150 in the U.S. or something like that. So that's pretty. Those are pretty good numbers. Those are pretty good. But your question was what about systems engineering? I don't even remember what it was. What's the role of a systems engineer? I think within systems engineering, it really is looking at the whole system of design and actually like make like problem identification. What's wrong with this thing? Okay, what do we want to do to improve it? I think that's like what systems engineering is looking at like the whole type of workflow in terms of how you would redesign a product and how you would test it to make sure it's what you want. That's really what it is to me. At its core, systems engineering utilizes systems thinking principles to organize this body of knowledge. It issues such as requirements engineering, reliability, logistics, coordination with different teams, testing and evaluation, maintainability, and many other disciplines necessary for successful systems management, design, implementation, and ultimate decommission before it's too dealing with large and complex systems. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So, wow, I'm actually really impressed with my ability just to like, based on what I believe it is, just kind of define the definition itself. So that was cool. Yeah, so that's systems engineering. I'm surprised that it's an actual undergraduate major, but I guess what you would do is you would choose a sector, you would choose a niche within systems engineering, and then that's what you would focus on for your tech electives. That's what you would focus on for your internships. And again, just like anything else, if you choose systems engineering for your focus or your major, there's going to be niches within that, and your internships and everything else. That's how you're going to decide if that's the one for you. And I think you should start with whatever just excites you the most, wherever you think your passions lie the most. Okay, Monj, thanks for stopping by. Andrek, thanks for stopping by. Cash, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because I release like 2 or 3 videos a week. Right now I'm doing 2 videos a week and trying to live stream every Saturday. Every Saturday where I don't have an appointment or a shoot or some sort of lunch date with a friend. Lauren Washington, thanks for stopping by. Shastrek, thanks for stopping by. Okay, I'm going to rattle off some questions. How much money can engineers make? They make more than anyone else right out of school, that's for sure, especially if you eliminate a graduate program. The engineers that make the most money are engineers that find themselves working in computer vision. Write this down. Computer vision, machine learning, artificial intelligence, mechatronics and robotics engineering, solar, chemical engineering still making good money, petroleum engineering still making good money, but I don't really encourage petroleum engineering. Those are all the good fields. Mohammed, would Arduino be used for a civil and structural engineer? No, Arduino, if you want to go into computer and electrical engineering, you should be messing with Arduino boards. Kyo, you mentioned but not putting yourself in a box. Do I think going for civil engineering, specifically structural engineering, is putting yourself in a box? No, because you can still change it up later. Mechanical engineering is not putting yourself in a box because there's all different types of avenues. Guys, it's just where you build your skill sets. Like, for example, I built up a skill set. Let me give you an example. I'm a civil engineer. I chose transportation as a niche. I took all my tech electives in transportation in my undergrad. I went to grad school, continued down that niche, did traffic and like safety. My thesis project was on left turn safety in traffic, but the job I took was not related to traffic safety, was not truly related to traffic at all. In a way, I started doing modeling. I would build like a SimCity model and work with all the traffic in that. And so my degree just got me ready for that next step. I didn't even use any of my tech electives or any of my learning from grad school into my first full-time job. And I took another full-time job a little bit less than a year ago, and I'm doing something totally different now, but still within transportation and traffic. I'm actually working with like what they actually do with the roadway, where the signs go, what the signs say, all the planning of the lights, where the lights go, how all the wires work, how the intersections are coordinated, if you have transit signal priority, so if a bus is behind schedule, we literally will give it more green time to make sure that bus can actually keep up to schedule or beat its schedule. We work with smart cities applications now. We work with the visualization of engineering projects, so how to best show off a bridge, and we charge our clients for that. I've never done any of this stuff before. So again, like your career is going to be more dynamic. Your career, what you do as you start your career and the choices you make will be more indicative of the path you choose. Don't worry too much. You're going to be able to apply your engineering learning and your engineering degree to whatever you want for your career. Honestly, you will be able to. Just do something that you're excited about. This is what I believe. Do something that you're passionate about and excited about, because then you will be able to crush it in your career. You'll be able to put in that extra work. You'll be able to put in that extra hustle so that you stand out, so that you do well, so that you impress your boss, so that you get promotions, whether that they be on the technical side or the managerial side. So that's what I have to say about that. Lauren Washington, if you're still in here, give yourself a little shout out. Energy, what things can you do within energy and chemical engineering? Chemical engineering can work in a whole bunch of different areas. You can work with, paints and plastics and different types of labels. You can work with the food industry. You can work in anything. You can work in pharmaceuticals. You can work in gas and oil. There's all types of things. But because of miniaturization and nanotechnology, because of being more connected to sustainability, and because of solar, because of green systems, that chemical engineering, it's kind of changing a lot. You're losing. One of the biggest things in chemical engineering was petrochemicals, and that's shifting a lot. So I really don't like chemical engineering as a major choice right now. Chemical and petroleum engineering are like the only two that I don't think have the best future. That's just my view. If you're from an area, like if you're from Edmonton or if you're from the Middle East and your home countries are still heavily reliant on those sectors, it's never going to go away. It's still a good area. Or if you're from, Texas and you want to go into petrol engineering or chemical engineering, those industries aren't going to go away for a long, long, long time because those areas rely on them so much. So don't worry too much about that type of thing. What else do we have here, guys? What is better? CS, guys. Engineering abbreviations and engineering acronyms change. So what are all over the place. So I guess CS, computer science, and computer engineering. If you want to work more with code, if you love code, do computer science. I honestly think that computer science is not the best major. I think what you should do is have the engineering degree, have the engineering program under your belt, and either minor in computer science or just take a lot of computer science courses, because computer engineering, electrical engineering, software engineering, these all are going to have a bunch of computer science, a bunch of programming, a bunch of language courses, a bunch of machine learning, things like this, AI, systems controls, things like that. So you're going to have to take that stuff already, but why not just be an engineer and have a very well-versed software programming type of computer science belt? I think that's what you should do, but that's how you should choose. But if you don't like the actual hardware part, if you really just love software, then yeah, be a software person, be a coder, be a computer scientist. Random Funds, great question. So that's really what this channel is all about. Random Funds says, what skills are the most useful and more important skills for an engineer? I honestly think it's your people skills, your ability to connect with your boss, connect with your team. These are the things that are going to make you most successful in engineering. Now, if you're still a technical introvert and you don't really like to work with people, that's okay. But you need to be really good at whatever you choose for a technical avenue. You need to be the best. You need to really be working on that and love what you're working on so much that you can crush it and really stand out that way. But truly, if you want to be like the engineers that make the most money, the engineers that rise to become CEO, it's because of their people skills. It's because of their ability to communicate well and have interpersonal relations and just be likable and be respectful, be a good conversationalist and have good negotiating skills. Those are the skills that are going to allow you to crush it in your career. About to pour some more tea here. So we got Persian, Iranian tea with cardamom in a French press. That's how I roll on weekends. During the week, I drink coffee. During the week, I drink coffee. What do you guys drink for your caffeine? Are you guys coffee drinkers? Are you tea drinkers? Drop it in the chat. Let me know, because I'm such a big... I like both. I drink black tea on the weekends just because this stuff is so good. And I drank coffee during the week just because it's free and at work. And then I drank herbal teas and things at night sometimes. It makes you pee, though. Okay, guys, what do we got here? Sir Jake. You don't have to call me sir. If the column in a building is slightly not straight, will this building collapse in the future? Yeah. Don't ask me questions like that. You're going to get banned. Mohammed, is engineering experience required before entering engineering college? No, that would be almost impossible. It's possible, but it's really hard to accumulate engineering experience. Like how? You'd have to work. You'd have to really hustle. And as a high school student, you'd have to. Man, as a high school student, you'd have to start working at an engineering office or something. It's not the easiest thing to do. That's for sure. What else we got? Mohammed. Oh, sorry, I already got that. What else we have? Drop your questions in here, guys. How easy is it for a mechatronics engineer to get into the aerospace industry? Super easy. There's lots of robotics. Fernando, great question. There's lots of robotics applications within aerospace. So how things are built, how there's all types of robotics things for satellites. There's all types of robotics things for the shuttles themselves and the rockets themselves. There's all types of robotics affiliated with the space stations, International Space Station. So it's really good for sure. Drop any struggles, any questions, anything you guys want to talk about, especially things that are pain points. What did you struggle the most with last year? What were your issues? If I missed a question from before, go ahead and relink it. Relink it in the chat if I missed your question. Messing with this mic. I don't know if I like this thing. The jury is still out. DP, I joined the Purdue 2022 group and asked them to convince me why I should go there instead of university. I think it was something at Huntsville, University of Alabama at Huntsville, right? They said Purdue has a bigger endowment fund, bigger reputation. I mean, I answered this before too, though. I said you should take the scholarship. So I talked to Harry Kennedy last night, who runs Hack Electronics, and Harry said that he was from New York, and he had a full ride to Penn State, and he went to Ohio State and said, hey, I'm considering going here. but I got a full ride to Penn State. Can you guys like meet me somewhere here? Can you give me a scholarship? Can you give me some funding to go to your school? And they said, yeah. So I don't know if that meant he got a full ride or what, but DP, Jet Tono Porkins, that stuff works. So I would consider doing that. Reach out to the recruitment people and leverage the scholarship that you've achieved at University of Alabama, Huntsville, the full ride, the out-of-state full ride you've achieved, and look into it. DP, I'm pretty sure you live in Illinois. Did you apply to University of Illinois at Champaign? That's like one of the best civil engineering schools. I know you want to do aerospace. Maybe Champaign-Urbana doesn't have the best aerospace program, but Random Fun says, bro, I am struggling heavily with my engineering lab partner. Huh. Welcome to, Mount Sylvester. Thanks for stopping by. Maj, thanks for stopping by. So lab partner issue. Where'd your question go? He's a control freak and does not let me do anything. Do you guys get good grades? Like if your lab partner is a silly control freak and isn't delegating it out, but you guys are crushing it, then let it happen. Honestly, whatever. Now, if you guys are getting bad grades, you need to use that as leverage to get more involved or split up the duties or let you have some decision making. It definitely sucks, but if your lab partner is a crazy nerd and is control freaking this thing out, and as long as you're understanding everything that's happening in the class and that person wants to do everything, just let them do it. You only have to deal with this person for one class. You don't have to be roommates. You don't have to live with them. You don't have to work with them for years. Just let it. It's probably too much stress. So, but if this person is getting you C's and D's and you guys are struggling because of them, then they need to shut the F up. You need to put them in check, and I'll give you advice on how to make that happen. But let me know. Man, I don't know about this thing. I guess it kind of works. Uchema Charles, what's up, man? Construction engineering, a good avenue. Yeah, I interviewed my local professor who runs the engineering, construction, and management program at Delaware, which is one of the best ones in the country because they do a 4-year co-op. So you have 2 internships with it. They also give a business certificate. So not a minor in business, but a business certificate. Actually, maybe it's considered a minor. And you pretty much have a really good chance at getting a job afterwards. It's like an 19 minute video. I ask them all types of questions about how much money they make, the need in the job market, the future of the job market. So check that out. Just go to my channel. It's called Engineering and Construction Management. Is it a good major? Make sure you check that out. But your question is what? Construction engineering. Okay, here's how it works, guys. You have 4 things that all seem confusing and similar. You have civil engineering, architecture engineering, and construction engineering. And then you also kind of have this thing that's project management that can fit into all of them. I guess that's 5. Civil engineering is applied engineering, so you can work in any field you want as a civil. If you want to work with buildings, if you want to design buildings, you would choose structural, and then you would do all your internships and your tech electives in structural, and then you would just go down that avenue for your career. Or go to grad school in that career. Sorry if this is like making noise, guys. Also, there's architecture. So architecture is a little bit less math-based if you really are creative and into design and into infrastructure, but you're not that strong in math. Even if you're in the middle of the fence, I think you should be an engineer, but because it's easier to go from engineering to working into architectural type applications than it is for an architect to work in engineering. That's actually impossible. You don't have the same level of credit. You can't sit for a professional engineering exam. Unless I have that one mixed up, but I'm pretty sure architecture programs are not accredited for the engineering tests. That would not make sense to me. I need to double check that. Architectural engineering is more so working with the whole systems in a building. So the engineering type of systems, but in terms of the whole building perspective, so it's still not quite architecture. And then construction engineering is more so ensuring that the implementation, the building, the actual construction of the building is going well. And project management can happen within all those. You're going to do a little bit more project management on the construction engineering and management side, which is often why construction engineering degrees, they're kind of called construction engineering management. It's kind of blended in there. So that's what I have to say about that. Christian Bays, how you build your people skills is by going out there and getting connected to people. So hang out with your engineering clubs, hang out with your friends, actually meet up in person. If you're a big gamer like me, actually meet up and do that sort of stuff, and just go out there in society and treat every sort of human interaction that you find in the world, like even with cashiers and everything, like try to have a quick little conversation with them and, just get more involved with clubs, get more involved with, intramural teams, whatever. Do whatever you can. This mic stand. Do whatever you can to sort of just connect with people, have more interactions with people. Go to your professor's office hours, ask them for lunch or coffee, hang out with the engineering club more, join some engineering societies, all that type of stuff. Ezequiel, thanks for stopping by. What do I think has more of the chance for innovation? Civil engineer, structural, or structural? That's what you said in your question. Structural or transportation. So without question, the answer to your question is transportation engineer has more innovation right now. The reason is because there's just a little bit more reluctance in the structural, the building sector to utilize new technologies, whereas transportation is connected to driverless vehicles, it's connected to drones and delivery, it's connected to smart cities, which even though it may seem like smart cities is a little bit more on the structural side, it's not true. Smart cities is more about data and the Internet of Things type applications and making sure that we know what's going on with people and bikes and where vehicles are within a city and all the data that's in a city. And usually a lot of that data is coming from a person, like from a phone, where they're moving to, what they're doing, tracking that person, what they like, all this type of stuff. Structural engineering has some innovation as well. You have BIM and building information modeling, bridge information modeling. You also have the Internet of Things that are happening, so that's kind of impacting our decision making with buildings. But I'm a little bit biased because I'm a transportation engineer, so maybe I just know more about that. What kinds of grades in high school would be ideal for the future of engineering? So because engineering, Manj, great question. Because engineering is widely considered the hardest undergraduate major, you need to get good grades, honestly, and you probably need to be taking prerequisite courses within engineering. Like if you have the option to take high level or advanced placement chemistry, physics, calculus, statistics, classes like that, take it. My high school had a engineering pathway. So if you have engineering tech electives or any sort of engineering, what's up Izzy, what's up Mohammed, what's up Uchenna, what's up Ezequiel, what's up Farik, what's up May, thanks for stopping by guys. Glad you're stopping by here, May. Guys, if it's your first time to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I release like 2 or 3 videos a week, so you guys can crush it as engineers. Not to mention, I'm starting to do more live streams, so I can just get right to your questions. What else do we got? Mohammed, I made some videos about how you prepare, how you crush your first year of engineering. The biggest thing is build relationships with baller people. Baller people mean, awesome people. So the other smart students, build relationships with your professors. Go to all your career fairs. Go to any sort of club activities, social activities where you can connect with people in your industry, and do anything to stand out. Build a real portfolio. Start an engineering blog. Start an engineering project. If there's not a type of club within the sort of engineering that you want, like if there's not a rocket club, aerospace engineering club, mechatronics club, robotics club, start it. Start the club. That's how you crush it in your first year. When employers ask about hobbies, are they generally going for things related to this is a good question. Things related to engineering? Do extracurricular activities like sports have a positive impact? Absolutely. So, Izzy, what they want to do, so the way that you develop rapport with other humans, the way that you connect well with your team members in your office, what's up, Moneybags? Thanks for coming by. Is that they just want to make sure you're a real person. They want to make sure that you actually can build a relationship with them in the office. So you should kind of do research on all the people that you're going to be interviewing with and figure out what maybe their hobbies are, and like scope them out on Instagram and LinkedIn. I was going to say LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram on that order. You should be able to find all these people and see what they're into. Maybe you can find something that you're connected to that, somehow. What's up, Matthew? What's up, Joma? Guys, go over to Joma's channel right now and make sure you subscribe to him. He makes awesome videos about working at Facebook and all the cool internships that he made, or the internships that he had, like LinkedIn and Microsoft and BuzzFeed. So he's got some good stuff. We're going to be doing some collabs in the near future. So I haven't had a live stream collab in a while. I've done it a couple times, but most of the interviews I do, most of the interviews I do are all about people who have landed certain jobs and gone down that career, and I don't always live stream with them. It's usually like an off-street live. But we're going to be doing a collab in the future now. What other questions do we got, guys, here? what work should I start with zero investment? So in order for you to stand out, in order for you to be successful, everything you do takes investment. There's no easy path to crushing it in this world, bro. Thackeray, what do you got here? What can I do in high school, outside of school, to make myself a better candidate for engineering school? I think we already talked about all that. Getting involved with other stuff such that you can connect with people in general. Just be a wide skill set person is really important. To also get back to the last question. But you can be working on side projects. Like this side project of mine is really cool for my career because all my colleagues know about it. Joma, his colleagues know about his YouTube channel. I saw you going on YouTube Live in the middle of that meeting the other night, Joma. That shit's crazy. But just working on something is really good. Like taking coding classes, working on some sort of hobby that's connected to engineering, working on robotic stuff, working on programming, portfolio type stuff, working with rocket applications, volunteering to do research, getting involved with any type of other engineering, going to hackathons, any other sort of engineering related communities is definitely not a bad thing. But also just being a good person. I think volunteering, what's up, Joseph Armstrong? Thanks for stopping by. I think just, that was a happy hour. Nice. I think just adding things to your world, just like not having hobbies that include watching Netflix and doing boring stuff like wasting your time. Just don't waste your time. Be an interesting person. That's what's going to make you the most successful. What else do we got here? Joseph, I'm going to get to your question. How would you start an engineering blog? Should you write a few articles and then leverage the blog? This is really good. Medium.com is what I would start with, and then repurpose that article on LinkedIn. Make sure that people can find it that way. You can also start blogs with lots of other free ones. I think the way to go is Medium. What else do we got here? I don't see any other new questions, so I'm going to go back and scroll up to these old ones. Money bags. My civil program has a structural, environmental, and transportation path after second year. That's cool. Doesn't matter which I pick. I think you should pick the one that excites you the most and interests you the most. Like if you want to work with buildings and bridges and actual structural type applications, you should choose structural. If you want to be like me and work with traffic and cities, like smart cities applications, driverless cars and data, GIS. If you want to work with roadway design, you choose transportation. Environmental, if you want to work with runoff and the environment, wetlands, and making sure that we're not polluting the world, you want to work with coastlines, you want to work with ecosystem type stuff, choose environmental. It's easy as that. What other questions do we got? Yeah, go ahead and subscribe to Joma, guys, so you make sure that you follow him, you make sure you understand him and the type of content he puts out. If you're interested in becoming a developer or working in Silicon Valley or startup world, like for all you California 1% Nation members, go ahead and subscribe. He's out there in San Francisco crushing it. Drop your questions in the chat, guys. We got 50 people in here. What? That's definitely the most I've ever had. Joma, I see you get like 70, 80 people in your live streams, which is awesome. Joma, when's your interview coming out with Engineered Truth? That should be really good for your community. Linear algebra midterm. Ugh, that sucks. Okay, what other questions do we have? It's important to learn a second language for engineering. Adrian, what's up? I want you guys to, Adrian, drop another line in the chat. I'm really happy that you're starting the first ever chapter of 1% Engineer, Adrian, down there in Texas. Really, really happy about that. Adrian says, how important is it to learn a second language for engineering? What second language will be ideal? And do I speak a second language? So I took some Spanish in high school, 0 in university, but the people who I know who speak a second language like Mandarin or even Cantonese and make business trips to Hong Kong or Spanish, or in Canada if you speak French, it's certainly advantageous to have a second language on your belt because that allows for a company to hire you who does business in that country or who has offices in that country, and it's definitely a huge asset to your company. So the ones I know who have a second language under their belt, they travel and they end up doing project management type stuff or product type management, and they travel and crush it and usually make a lot of money because of this. So it's certainly an advantage. Now, I think for you, Adrian, I know I would imagine you're probably, pretty fluent in Spanish. Maybe not. If so, I think it would be a good idea if you're in Texas. Anyone in Texas should be, if you're not already fluent in Spanish, you definitely should, because you're right there in order to do business and engineering with Mexico. I know several engineers who do this. They travel, they go across the border, they crush it in meetings, and they do really well for their company. So that's what I would suggest for you. If you're on the West Coast, being fluent in Mandarin, Chinese is not a bad thing at all, for sure. Love to hear what you think about this, Joma. Do you see that correlation in Silicon Valley engineers who either travel to Korea and travel to China, travel to Japan, travel to any other countries that are a little bit closer to California, any Southeast Asian type business type stuff? Carmen, thanks for more questions. Martin, thanks for stopping by. No. Mason, thanks for stopping by. Mason Inc. Alex Zerk, thanks for stopping by. Emmanuel, thanks for another question. Thanks for subscribing. Guys, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. I release like 2 or 3 videos a week. Usually right now it's 2 videos, Wednesdays and some random day. It was Wednesdays and Saturdays. I think I'm doing Wednesdays and either Fridays or Sundays, because now I'm streaming live on Saturdays whenever I can. Mason, what engineering field would I say is the most enjoyable and fun? It has to do, the most enjoyable and fun is the only, it matters what you think. You're the only person who can answer that. So it has to be connected to your skill set and your passions and your interests. Joma says we get a lot of international employees for Silicon Valley type engineering jobs. I love that. So yeah, again, Mason, I think it matters on your skill sets. Like if you really like to tinker with stuff and take things apart and put them back together, that's mechanical engineering type foundation. If you're infatuated with, infrastructure, buildings, bridges, cities, that's civil engineering. If you really like to code, do software engineering. What else do we got here? So you just have to go, Mason, you just have to go in an area that's going to be good for you. That's a good, fit for your skill sets. Mohammed says, about the portfolio I mentioned, since I'm planning to go for my first 2 full years in college and then first 2 years at university. So what he means by college is like a community college, because I know in Canada they just called it college. Would the first 2 years of college help develop my portfolio? Yeah, you should be working on projects. You should be doing the same stuff at a community college or regular college level before you move on to a first 4-year university. Do all the same stuff as if you were in regular 4-year university. Put all your projects in a portfolio. Make sure that they're in an easy place to find online, like start your own website, or make sure that they're put somewhere on some free hosting platform, and so that you can link them to your LinkedIn and also print out that stuff. Keep it all in some nice area. You can bring it to you for job interviews, stuff like that. And yeah, you should not be inhibited by going to a college or a community college. So Noe, I can't read whatever language that you're speaking. Sorry, I don't know. I guess I'm not sure, but I wouldn't discourage that from the chat. I know you're probably talking about how you speak multiple languages. We were just talking about that, but so shout out to you for knowing multiple languages. I want to hear in English though. Has it helped your career? Right? Are you staying fluent, or are you seeing that's helping your career? Joey, thanks for stopping by. Senior in high school, really have intro to statistics at the moment. Been applying to schools. Great. Drop questions though. I want to hear what your question is. Final shot. I'm taking. Yeah, this is good. I guess people are mentioning how I'm taking general engineering at a community college because you're unsure. Yep, that's fine. Again, I don't see a question there. May, do you do speeches at university events? I have. I've spoken at Drexel. I've spoken for some high school programs. So depending on where you are, I'll come speak at your school. So let me know if you're in my area. I've gotten some invitations to some stuff that would involve flights. It hasn't happened yet though. What else do we have? I'm at a disadvantage when applying for SWE jobs with a master's in math. What are SWE jobs? Chestnut, thanks for stopping by. Adrian, no Spanish sadly. That's okay. Yeah, just download Duolingo. It's free. It's awesome. Yep, guys, just drop your questions. What is SWE? SWE to me is Society of Women Engineers. Top 5 tech companies to join as a new grad, SWE. Yep, May, shout out. Good thing that you're in Canada. Love that. I worked in Vancouver, British Columbia for 4 years. Toronto, that's awesome. I guess people are mentioning where they're from. Let's hear some questions, guys. Come to Florida State. If you can get me down there, if we want to find funding from, I don't know if you guys have a club for Haitian Engineers Club. If you guys can get me down there, fly me down, I'll come. What else? I'm scrolling back up to look at Joma. Oh, no, I missed your question. What do I think? Oh, what do I think for this Red Club? Top 5 undervalued skills for an engineer. I love that, man. If you're still here, and we'll focus on soft skills and not obvious skills. Love that. So I don't know if you're still in here, Joma, but we're gonna do that collab soon. Love that. What are free hosting platforms? I think you can host your website with like, what's the one? I think with GoDaddy you can have free. There's also WebGator, HostGator. I think has some free stuff. Squarespace definitely has a free thing. Like I know that one has a web hosting thing for free. I pay like $10 a month for all my websites on Squarespace, so even the premium is cheap. Anthony, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on that. Martin, is this a good college plan? Go to 2 years of community college and transfer to UC Berkeley and graduate. So for UC Berkeley, yeah, just make sure you go to UC Berkeley's website, and they're going to have support programs where they accept all of the credits from certain community colleges and certain tech schools, like 2-year programs. So make sure that you go to one of those that UC Berkeley supports so that you don't waste any of your time, you don't waste any of your credits. Manj, is 100K salary realistic in the first 5 years of working? Yeah, definitely. It just depends on what you do and who you connect with and how you crush it in your career and the type of major you choose. For example, if you get an electrical engineering, computer engineering, or a software engineering job, you crush it, and you go work for one of the big tech startups, like I bet you Joma makes over $100,000 at Facebook, or he might be close, right? Because he's in the tech industry and he's in data science, data analytics. So he's not a pure software developer or software engineer. He's in data analytics, really. Voice is getting a little raspy here. 80 minutes into the live stream, crushing it with 45 to 50 people. More every time I live stream, guys, I have more and more people. So make sure you leave comments. The live stream gets powered because people are commenting in the live stream, dropping questions, and because you share this. Go ahead and share this with a friend. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you leave a comment afterwards. But make sure you guys are really active in the chat, because that allows more engineers to find this. It allows 1% Nation to grow. And so I'm really glad that I can help you guys out. Make sure you join the Facebook group. I think it's going to be in the description below. I'm pretty sure it's in the second or third line. Just make sure you join that. It's in the third line of the chat of the description below, because that's really where all 1% Nation hangs out. Does reading civil engineering drawing and plans get easier? Nope, not from my perspective. I just got an internship and I feel lost sometimes. Well, in that case, like, yeah, you'll start to understand it more. I just don't like working with drafting and plans. So if that's, I'm a people person, so I like doing more of the meetings and sort of like that sort of project vision and managing people. And I really like marketing projects, selling projects, winning projects. The technical side of things kind of bores me too. So Jose, thanks for stopping by. I went to the University of Delaware. So I'm here. I live in Delaware now, but I've been all around the North America after being a student. I'm from Maryland, went to Delaware, went to grad school at UW-Madison in Wisconsin. Then I worked in Chicago professionally, and then that company sent me to Vancouver, British Columbia, where I worked for 4 years. So I was in Western Canada. What's up, Harry Kennedy? Go subscribe to Harry's channel. You didn't hear it earlier, Harry, but I gave Hack Electronics a shout out. I don't even remember what it was about, but I think it was about, it was about how somebody asked this question, Harry, so maybe you can give DP, Jet Port Collins, I can't remember your full name, it's Jet something Tono Portkins. He asked Harry, he said, hey, should I take my full ride in Alabama, University of Alabama, Huntsville, or should I go to this other school and pay more money? And I said, you should leverage the scholarship. You should do what Harry Kennedy did and how he got into Penn State with a full ride, and then Ohio State University, the Buckeyes, gave him an opportunity to come. And he said, hey, guys, I got this full ride to Penn State. Can you give me some scholarship money too? And they said, yeah. So he leveraged the scholarship at another school at another state to get into a school that he wanted to get into that was also out of state for him, or just an entirely different state. So you can use one opportunity to leverage the next opportunity for you guys. So that's exactly what I want you guys to try to think about and also want to do. So Gaze Asidon, thanks for stopping by. Habib, thanks for stopping by. Mark, thanks for stopping by. Emmanuel, thanks for another question. Freak, thanks for another question. Where can you find internships for high schoolers? Freak, you just have to look at the companies that exist in your area around where you live and look them up. Like if you want to be a computer engineer, Look up the types of companies that deal with circuit boards or deal with computer engineering type products. They're selling computer products, and you can probably connect with some of those people. Just roll in, call them up. Honestly, anybody who is going out of their way to be ambitious and has the passion to go call up some places, do what Steve Jobs did. He was calling Michael Dell and said, hey, I want to come work at Dell. And he got him a job, right? Like, that's what people do when 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old people still in high school do when they call you up and they say, hey, I'm interested in your type of engineering. They give you an opportunity. I actually have been on Engineering Truth's channel. If you go over to Matthew Tran's YouTube channel, our episode came out a couple weeks ago. He interviewed me about my five reality versus expectations of civil engineering, of becoming a civil engineer. So check that out for sure. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Really appreciate that. Smash this like button on the video too. Really appreciate that. So if I miss a question, link the question up again. Do I recommend? I see it. Do I recommend interning for a startup or a big organization, and why? So I've never worked for a startup. I've had plenty of engineering friends who've worked at startups. But really, what's indicative of startup or what is associated with startup is just small engineering culture. So it depends. You're going to make more money with a bigger company. You're going to... so here's the pros of working for a big company. You'll make more money. It'll be easier, most likely. You will have a clear path to get promotions. You'll have a clear career ladder to walk up. You'll probably be able to be mentored by anyone that you want. You'll probably be able to go in any career direction that you want. And you can use that brand of that company to maybe go to the next thing. So there's lots of advantages, but there's also equally as many advantages working for a small company. There's a potential to, if you really want to work hard and crush it, like if you have the work ethic and the work sort of drive within you to crush it and really help that startup grow, then you could be like engineer number 7 at a company. And then if you guys grow, if you make it, and you grow to like 50 or 100 employees, and you're probably going to end up making a ton of money, and you're going to be one of those first employees. Like the first 100 employees at Facebook and Google, they became multi-millionaires, right? So there's that potential. There's also the potential that it could fail, you know? In a startup, you most commonly, honestly, it really comes down to what you want in terms of your work culture and work ethic. Like, you're going to have to work really hard in a small company, but it's kind of like a opportunity to maybe crush it. And man, I never grabbed my water. You kind of have like this opportunity to crush it, and it's like a go big or go home type thing where maybe this company will make it, maybe not. If it's like a bridge to Silicon Valley, you can use that to go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, but you have to do well. You have to crush it. So my suggestion is to work for small to medium sized engineering companies, not necessarily a startup, not necessarily a big company. I really don't like big companies. I worked for a company that was 800 people. We got bought up by a company that was 15,000, and it was not the best experience. Yeah, Calc 2 was the hardest class I ever took. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Any ways to get more funding for an engineering society? Yep, go out, and what you should do is, Joseph Armstrong, build connections, build relationships with all the other people, all the other organizers, like the presidents of all the other clubs that are associated with your school or your area. Figure out who sponsors their events, and then approach those sponsors and say, hey, I know XYZ of president of this society. Would you be interested in sponsoring and supporting my society as well? That's what you should do, is figure out the people who are already donating to societies that are similar to yours or have the same mission as yours, and just ask them. Doesn't matter what university you graduate from in order to get a job. It definitely helps to go to a big name, big brand school, but you don't need it. It's more about how you stand out, how you crush it, and the relationships that you build. Like, you can become an intern at NASA no matter where you go to school. If you crush it, it doesn't hurt to go to Georgia Tech or Stanford or Berkeley or Harvard, right? Anthony Campbell, thanks for the question. I'd say it's overkill. Oh, sorry. I thought you had a question. I try not to read through. Well, he says, maybe I will. I'd say it's overkill for college where it came in, unless, I don't know what came in said, though. It's really hard to follow the chat. So I really just tried to glance at it and ask a question. Do you need to take chemistry in high school to become an architect? No. What is the difference between architecture and architectural engineering? I made a video about this, Andrea, so make sure... Andrea SF, make sure you find that. I made a video about civil engineering versus architecture. I also made a video about what is architectural engineering. what do architectural engineering do? Architectural engineers do. I also made a video about what do civil engineers do. So I've talked quite a bit about this. What's the Mars stuff behind me? So yeah, Anthony Campbell. I am a student space ambassador for the Mars Generation. So I make videos for that platform. That's with astronaut Abby, if you guys know who that is. Yeah, I do believe in this whole Mars initiative. I'm pretty sure we're going to be sending people to Mars in like 5 years. What sparked my idea to make a YouTube channel? So I've started some businesses in the last 3-4 years, and they were always video based, drone based. Started with a drone, then we moved into real estate, then really got our footing in weddings. And when I moved away from Vancouver, because my old business partner moved away from Vancouver, my old business partner is running that wedding business now. So I started this project to connect sort of my passion for engineering mentorship, engineering itself, and video. And I can help people choose. I just noticed that there's this need for this. There's this hole where there's no true platform that's like talking about engineers and how to be successful within engineering. It doesn't really exist. So I'm kind of like leveraging that there's a gap in the there's just this need. There's nobody helping for this category. So I just noticed that there's no engineering channels that are really doing this. So I decided to start trying and see. I'm 30, Martin. So I graduated with my civil engineering degree 8 years ago. How do I end up choosing University of Delaware? That's a good question, Lauren Washington. So I chose Delaware because I'm from Maryland. It was close enough. It's like an hour away from where I grew up on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. I chose it mostly because of the culture. So going back, I would have gone to University of Maryland because it has a really good engineering program. And I ended up paying out-of-state tuition, so I would not advise anybody look outside of their state because you can find a decent enough engineering program no matter where you are. But coming out of school with college debt really sucks. I went to University of Delaware because it was very East Coast, and what I mean by it was like preppy and very lacrosse and very fun and very into like lifestyle and like the social aspect. The party type of community was really good at Delaware, and it was just like it had like this type of East Coast prestige around it. You know, Joe Biden, who ended up being vice president under Obama, he went to University of Delaware. It has this really cool like reputation about it that I wanted to be affiliated with, and that's why I chose it. But I think the most important thing to think about is your engineering culture. Is it going to fit in with your culture? Like I talk to people who are, you know, from the South, and for example, they want a part of that type of culture to be a part of their engineering experience, and that's really good. Or somebody who wants to live in a big city. Maybe you should look at NYU if you're from New York. Otherwise, if you don't want that, you can look at Ithaca, Cornell. You can look at Syracuse. You can look at some other place that isn't big city related, right? So I think culture is big. I think engineering reputation is a really good thing to think about. Like if you're from California and you can get into multiple engineering colleges, and if you can get into the one that has a better reputation for whatever type of engineering you want to do, choose that. You have to think about lifestyle. Like if you want to be, again, this comes down to culture, but a lot of people, they don't want to be too far from their family or say they want to be super far. These are things to think about. So, I mean, by the time you get into your schools, you're not really going to be making the choices about engineering program, because like if you get into the school that is the best engineering program, I think that kind of takes over. But then if you're not sure, you just have to audit yourself. If you don't want to be too far from family, if engineering brand and prestige is more important to you, which it can be, but I think it should be more about culture, really. Choosing the fit for you, right? Because you don't want to be unhappy. Like you're gonna be unhappy if you choose a school that's in a city environment, and even if it's a good reputation school, even if it's a good brand, a good name school, you're just gonna be unhappy for 4 years if you hate the city. So I think that's really important. But that's why I chose Delaware ultimately. So good question, Lauren. What else we got here? Jose, if my YouTube channel starts to yield more success, yeah, definitely. So what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel is not monetize 1% Nation. I might do something like some sort of VIP thing or start selling books and whatever. I haven't tried any of that yet because I just don't think the student audience can buy stuff. So I'm just giving away all my knowledge and information for free. What I might do is use this YouTube success to consult with engineering programs and departments and engineering companies to help them do this and connect with their audience and make content so that they can crush a certain engineering niche on YouTube. I'm still not sure. I also interview TEDx speakers. I volunteer with TEDx, and I've interviewed like 90 TEDx speakers, so I could do a business where I help them grow a YouTube channel, but I just don't think that there's an avenue to like monetize this audience. So that's part of the reason why this platform is successful, because the community knows I'm not trying to sell them anything. So that's part of the fun, is they see me as an entrepreneur who's built businesses. I have asked quite a bit, so drop it in the chat right now. I have asked quite a bit, if you would start a business, do you guys want to learn stuff about that, right? Do you want to hear about how you can take your engineering background and start a successful business in that regard? Because I've done it. I haven't grown something big enough to quit my job, but we were figuring out how to make some decent money building that wedding video business, so that was really fun. And there's definitely a whole bunch of things that we tried and invested time in and experimented with, and it failed. So let me know if you would start a business, if I should make some videos about that, how to maybe get going with business type ventures while you're still a student. That's something I also would have done if I had known. So go ahead and drop that in the chat. Were you always this perfect? I'm definitely not perfect at all. Did I have any weaknesses? Yeah, my weaknesses are like not this type of stuff. These are my strong points. My weaknesses are like, I'm not the best technical person, so I wasn't the strongest in math and like technical engineering and like technical problem solving. I would always do homework in groups and study in groups, because my strength was like being the leader and presenting. People were afraid to do the public speaking. I always had the best relationships with the professors, so I leveraged that. And I really went to them and said, hey, do I really need to know all this really hard stuff for this exam? Or do I just need to focus on this or that? And they would say, hey, you just need to focus on this or that. So that's what I was good at. What do we got here? Final shot. Thanks for stopping by. Guys, if you're new to the stream, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I was told to switch to a specific engineering because general at my community college offers very little electives. Yeah, I would encourage you to switch. Choose the one that you're most connected to and most passionate about. So mention that, final shot. Focus on something that you're interested in, passionate about, something that you're like Googling about, you're watching videos about. It's a match for your skill set. Do stuff like that. Computer Kings, thanks for stopping by. Computer engineering is a good choice. Computer engineering is great. Yeah, I don't think there's many platforms at all that teach business to engineering, so maybe there's a little niche for that. But I don't think I can teach business until I've actually taken the plunge and quit my job and built a real, successful business. So we're not quite there yet. I can teach you all the stuff that I know. Like, for example, say I was running a business and say I did have 6,000 YouTube subscribers. I could use the fact that I'm getting 70,000 views a month now to then drive traffic to my website. Like, a lot of businesses are not doing this. So if you can incorporate this into a business or into a program that does online master's degrees for architects or online master's degrees for computer science, if they did this and they had this type of community, then their business would be a lot more successful. So I think there's some stuff there. I'm originally from Maryland. I went to the University of Delaware. I live in Delaware now. I work in Delaware. I volunteer for TEDx Delaware. What else have we got here? Could you use this platform to join engineering societies from all across the world, such as Ulster Engineering Society? I don't know what Ulster Engineering Society is. Is that your school? Is that some famous thing? Is it smart to go to college to ask questions? I think you should always be asking questions your entire life. Great question. Who asked that? Great question, TS. You should always be asking questions. Like, even Warren Buffett reads like for hours a day. Ulster Engineering Society. What is that? I don't know what that is. You're going to have to expand on what that is because I'm not really sure. What else do we have, guys? Mohammed, what's the difference between Bachelor's of Engineering and Bachelor's of Science? So, nothing really. Bachelor's of Science is just nothing really. Honestly, Bachelor's of Engineering means that it's Bachelor's of Science to me. Bachelor's of Engineering just is an engineering type program. Like, I'm pretty sure like my degree says Bachelor's of Engineering, but it's literally no different. Bachelor's of Engineering versus Bachelor's of Science. Let's see what the internet says. Last time I did this, it worked out really well. It just means that you went to an engineering college. It may have slightly higher like credit load in calculus and other types of engineering, but it doesn't mean anything. You can get into all the same grad programs. You can get into all the same employers. If you get a bachelor's of science in some sort of engineering, you're most likely going to be eligible for the PE, and as long as it's an accredited. What you need to make sure is a bachelor's of science under the accredited list by ABET to make sure that you're eligible for your FE and eligible for your PE. How long does it take to be an architect versus architectural engineering? Great question, and they're both 4-year programs generally. Should engineering students get an MBA? Great question. So thank you, Adrian. Shout out to you, Adrian, again, for starting the first ever chapter of 1% Engineer. I'm really excited to see what we can do down there in Texas together, man. So if you guys would want to start your own 1% Engineer chapter and be president of that and be a baller like that on your resume, you should let me know. We're going to start doing group chats. I'm going to do we'll probably stream it live. Maybe we'll do our kickoff, Adrian, private, and then I'll put it on the internet later. But the way I see it is doing those live just to incorporate as many people as possible. But I think to give maybe your chapter as much value as possible, we shouldn't do it live, actually. So we'll think about that. So Adrian's question was, should engineering students get an MBA? Great question. Again, I did record, I'm pretty sure I recorded this video. Should we do Masters of Science versus MBA? Which one is for you? So I think there was like 3 or 4 different character points that I've touched on. So if you're extroverted, if you're a people person, if you want to be a leader, then you should do an MBA. If you want to be a technical expert and you're a little bit more introverted, then you should do Masters of Science. Also, if you know your type of engineering, like the niche, the specialty that you want to do, then you should do Masters of Science because you know exactly what you want to study and you're becoming more of an expert in that. Whereas if you're not exactly positive about the type of career avenue you want, MBA is going to provide you a little bit more flexibility because you can work in lots of other sectors. Again, I get the question like, should I go right to my master's or should I work right away? You very rarely see people who they get their MBA right out of school. They generally start working right away. So I think that's also to make sure that you can know the type of business industry that you want to work in. And so then you can get an MBA and sort of take more MBA classes in that. Like say you're going to be in the financial sector or say you're going to be in the business management area like in engineering, then you may take specific courses within that graduate program that are more affiliated with what you want for your career. But it really comes down to, Adrian, great question again. It really comes down to, do you want to be a technical person or do you want to be a manager and a leader? I think that's the biggest thing to think about. These are great questions. Thank you so much for all these new questions, guys. How long does it take? Oh, sorry, I already asked that one. Am I into cryptocurrencies at all? Money bags? Yeah, definitely. I started watching Bitcoin when it went from $1 to $10. That was 4 years ago. I should have probably bought the year it went from $10 to $1,000, and now we've seen it go all the way up to almost 20,000. Now back to 10. The last time I looked at it, it was around 10. It's not a huge meme. It's backed by the blockchain, and it's pretty good. Our future is definitely in crypto. It's just the problem with crypto is that it's a threat to banks. It's a threat to the Federal Reserve, and it's a threat to national banks all around the world. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting story. MIT stated that they will give you an undergraduate degree, but they will pay for your first year. Show me the link to that. I don't believe that. And if they are volunteering that, I think it comes down to they just want more high-level students to apply. So it's probably crazy competitive to get that. So again, it's so hard to get in. I guess they're just encouraging more people to get in. But I would love to see that. I mean, maybe they have it. I just feel like there's something wrong with that statement. I think people would pay so much money even if they got in that I don't see why MIT would do that. If you want to be a home developer, I would encourage you to study architecture, to be honest. Otherwise, if you want to be into the design of the actual homes, you should do civil engineering. But if you want to be a home developer, that sounds more like design to me. So architecture is probably what you want. Architectural engineering, maybe, but could I give a shout out? But like Joseph Armstrong, so you did send me some videos. So like, tell me what you want for your shout out. Like, what do you want the result to be? Do you want people to like and follow you guys on Facebook? Because like, I can give a shout out to you, Joseph Armstrong, for being in the 1% Engineer Society and sending me those pictures of that project you're wanting and all that. But like, it doesn't do a whole lot. What we should do, Joseph, is collaborate on a video and talk about like all those pictures that you posted in the group, and it's like an engineering style project. It's like an electrical engineering or computer engineering project. We should feature you that way, and then we can put links to your club, links to your Facebook page, and all that. That's the best way, because me just shouting you out on the live stream doesn't really help you, I don't think, because the 32 people that are watching this right now, they're probably not going to go to your anything. They're not going to actually follow the call to action. So like, let's do that, right? So let's talk offline about that. If you want to generate some traffic to your club, or you want some sort of result, right? Like usually people want something to happen. Like, so let's figure out what you're trying to do. If you want more people to join the club, if you just want a pure shout out, I can start shouting you out, but let's figure that out. So May A, what do you got here? My school's engineering professors don't seem to care about the mental health of students and stress. I mean, I think professors are just disconnected from the reality that they just think, a lot of professors have this attitude that, like, you know, they have fought really hard to get to the position that they're in. They've had to work their butts off, and, you know, it was ruthless to get to become an engineering professor. So I feel like they try to dish out the pain, and they have this attitude that, like, if you want to make it as an engineer, you're going to have to go through the gauntlet. And so, yeah, I think that they are a little bit disconnected to the fact that they don't teach about, how to deal with stress, and they don't really care. So I can empathize with that, because I had some pretty ruthless professors. This is also part of the reason why I talk about mental health. I made a video on engineering student stress. I talk a lot about taking breaks and making sure that you have that balance of spending time with quality friends and spending time with family. Guys, is this audio good enough? Does this sound a lot louder right now? I'm trying to figure out the right volume balance, always messing with stuff. But yeah, I don't think engineering professors are like I would call it empathetic with engineering students, and the fact that they stress us out, right? So it's definitely hard. But if I get a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, is it possible to pursue a master's in civil, structural, and architectural engineering? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You just need to go look, Mohammed, go look at the requirements for your bachelor's in mechanical engineering at the schools that you would apply to, and that's how you'll definitely know. Do you have to pick between management and technical? I don't think you have to pick, Joseph. I think you should go down the avenue that's the best fit for you. Like, be self-aware. Joseph, if you are one of the club leaders, and you're like a people person, and you are, a communicator, and you're a social person, then you should do management. But if you're a little bit more quiet and introverted and shy, and you like working by yourself, and you don't necessarily like to work with a team, technical is definitely for you. And it's okay. For every leader out there, for every leader in engineering, we need 5 to 10 times just as many technical experts, right? Because small teams probably have 4 people. The smallest of teams will have like 3. So for every one technical expert, for every one leader, we need 2, 3, 5, 10 technical people. So we need a lot more technical people. So it's okay to be that. Hey, what's up, RDS? Thanks for stopping by. The Facebook group is literally in May 8th. The Facebook group is literally in the live stream. You can find it right there. Facebook/group/1% engineer. There's also a link. The third link in the description will take you to the Facebook group. Click on that, and I will give you entry. There's 5 new people who have requested. Sam Lee, you are in. Alex Garcia, you are in. Onis Tripiatha, you are in. Lauren Washington, you are in. Renolf Sanon, you are in. I recognize all 5 of you from this live chat today. So if you haven't requested to join the Facebook group yet, guys, and you're still in the live chat, go ahead and join that right now. I will give you a shout out in the group the next time I do a group shout out, which is usually every 3 or 4 days, because this group is growing so fast. Right now we have 510 members in the group. Wendy Amp, thanks for joining the group just now. Join the group. Go ahead and click to join right now, guys. Coonscape, thanks for stopping by. Construction management is a good major. What's up, Absidis? What's up, Emerson? Thanks for stopping by. Mohammed Raji, thanks again for more questions. Mason, thanks for all the questions. I did a video about construction management, engineering and construction management. So if you guys think that's a major for you, make sure you find that on the channel. What else do we have here? No problem, Mohammed. When I wanted to become a civil engineer, what did I expect? And what is it that I actually came to see when I started school? So TS, I did an interview with Matt Tran from Engineer Truth, my 5 civil engineering expectations versus reality points. Go check out that interview with him. I talked about my top 5 points, which were things like, I really don't use that much of my degree. My degree taught me how to think and taught me how to problem solve, but I really don't use it too much. I also didn't truly realize how important all these social skills really were and how to actually network with people and stuff like that. So go check out that video. Go ahead and leave a like and comment on that video. I want that video to do well. Tommy Williams, the engineers that make the most are the software engineers in tech who work in like Silicon Valley and big tech companies like Amazon and Apple and Facebook and Microsoft, Airbnb, Uber. These engineers make a lot. Electrical engineers, computer engineers, robotics engineers, anyone working with machine learning, cyber security, artificial intelligence. All of these are really good. Really, really expensive. Aerospace engineers make a lot of money. Electrical, computer in general, they all make a ton of money. Double majoring in physics and EE, I don't think it's going to be good because physics, if you want to major in physics, you should only do that. Great. Okay, so this is a good question, RDS. If you want to major in physics, you're kind of funneling yourself into going to grad school. You're kind of funneling yourself into resource and into trying to get a master's of science or a PhD into physics, and either going into research, going into R&D, or going into academia and still being heavy on the research side, or being a professor and an educator in physics. So if you want to do that, okay? But if you want to actually work as an engineer, design stuff, build stuff, make stuff, then you should be an electrical engineer. So I don't really think that you get much benefit from double majoring. For example, the workforce is not going to give you respect. The corporate world is not going to give you respect for having that major in physics, because you're going to learn everything on the job that you need to know at your engineering company, wherever you work. So I would not worry about that too much. Don't double major in those. I don't really think that's going to be good for you. Civil engineers make a lot of money if you become a manager and you become a leader, just like any other type of engineering. Otherwise, civil engineering construction management makes a ton of money. What else do we got here, guys? What would I recommend double majoring in? Don't double major. I really don't think double majoring is what you want to do. I think that the only reason you would minor or double major is if you can do it and not take any extra time. For example, civil engineering and environmental engineering, you might be able to major in both if you take all of your civil engineering tech electives in environmental engineering courses. But I really don't think double majoring provides you with anything extra. I actually did a video about this lately that's not out yet. You only make a slightly small percentage more if you double major. If arts majors do a double major, and if their second major is in STEM, they do a lot better. But for engineers, like 2 STEM majors don't benefit you enough for me, and I've done the research on this, for me to believe that it should be ever recommended. Because say you double major in anything. Let's run some numbers real quick. Say you double major in anything, okay? You're taking most likely another year, okay? And so that accounts for another year of tuition and room and board and the opportunity cost if you had started working a year early. So usually it's like $100,000 total in losses, okay? So is that worth it? Is that worth it to double major? It's going to take you forever to make up that extra $100,000 in opportunity costs, and it doesn't provide you any advantages if you want to go to grad school. It doesn't. So you can get into grad school no matter what. If you have good grades and you build good relationships, you don't get enough benefit from double majoring. Now, if you want to do something like just have a diverse background and just be a more creative thinker, and say you want to be an engineer and then minor in business, I think that's a good combo. Or be an engineer and then minor in computer science, but not do extra time at university. If you can squeeze all that into 4 years, or if you're doing a co-op 5 years, then yeah, sure, maybe. But like, a lot of engineers think that double major really looks good on paper. Honestly, the world doesn't care. And I've looked at the numbers enough to see that like you don't make that much money enough. I'm not enough extra money for it to be worth it. It's around 5 or 7% more. It's not worth it. And the academic world, there is not like an acceptance level that matters more. And here's also the disbenefit. If you double major, you're most likely taking harder courses or taking more courses per semester, and you're sacrificing the ability to have more time to be involved with clubs, to build relationships with professors, to get involved with engineering societies, to do extracurricular activities and build relationships with awesome engineers. So you're taking time. Again, there's an opportunity cost in your personal time investment. So it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It doesn't provide you enough advantage to want to do it. So I just don't agree with it. TS, when I got out of college, what was going through your head when you got my first job? Honestly, my thought was entrepreneurial, and I realized that like I can just do my job. I need to be working on something else, this grand project on the side. I don't need to be trying to build a business. This is just like not what I want. I just realized that there was like other stuff I could be doing to like have the best career. So I started working on everything else. I just realized that it's all about who you know. I kind of realized that in college and in undergrad. I realized that all the good things that ever happened to me and the opportunities that happened to me were because of the relationships. I got into grad school because of relationships, not because of grades. I realized that I could kind of hack the system and get worse grades, not intentionally, but I just realized that I got just as many or more opportunities as other people who crushed it with their grades. As I got as many opportunities as them without getting good grades. And I just, I got job opportunity. Like I applied to 65 jobs, and I only got jobs where I knew people, right? It didn't matter like what my resume said. It didn't matter how I interviewed. It mattered who I knew. Those are the things that I realized. Which book's the best book I think you guys need to read? I'm going to actually give you the link. It's my Amazon Associates link too. So buying it will support this community. But you need to read this book. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's like a relationship building book. So it will definitely help you, build rapport with your colleagues and build rapport with your bosses, and really just how to like crush a room when you're networking, and how to win friends, and just how to really like dominate the social side of things when you're an engineer and when you're a student and when you're in the professional world. So why is this thing not coming up? But How to Win Friends and Influence People is really good. Here's the link to that. So just look at the book in Amazon just to figure out what it's all about. That's the link to that. That's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Also, I think Think and Grow Rich is really good, which teaches you about goal setting. I really like Elon Musk's book, which you can see. It's like over there on the bookshelf right there. Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion is really good. The Productivity Project is really good. I did make a video about the best 7 engineering books that I'm reading, the best books engineering students should read last fall. So check out that video. Just go to the channel, it's a pink thumbnail, and query books. You'll find it. This platform is not about how to get a job. It's about how to you can't really get a job on the internet. So whoever in Arabic just mentioned this, how can we get a job in civil engineering on the internet? The way to do that is to build relationships with people on LinkedIn. And it's still, what's up, Circuits Made Easy? Thanks for stopping by. It's still all about who you know. It's not really about just getting a job on the internet. Just applying to jobs on the internet is not how you get jobs. It's all about who you know, for sure. What else we got here, guys? Is electrical engineering a good major if you like to network rather than being on the technical side? It doesn't matter, Joel or Joey, if you want to be an electrical engineer and the electrical engineering industry still needs technical managers, right? So that's okay. Landon, thanks for stopping by. Guys, if this is your first time to the chat, first time to the channel, first time to this community, definitely go ahead and subscribe, because I release videos 2 times a week and at least stream once a week. I've been streaming a lot more lately. So go ahead and join the tribe by subscribing. If you want to be a successful engineer, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss anything. I know there's a Joel and there's a Joey. Oh, you're talking about Joey. You're linking Joey's? Whatever. There's a Joey and a Joel, bro. Self-learning. So self-learning, just being a better learner, Lauren, is that what you mean? I think being goal-driven, I think if you wake up every day, you think about what you want to accomplish, you journal at night, and you try to accomplish a little bit of that goal each day. That's really good. Turning off distractions when you're focusing on trying to learn. Just having goals that you want to learn, I think, is a good path to that. Emmanuel, I don't think computer science and philosophy are very valuable choice. I think the way to becoming a computer science professor is to make it through your PhD program, and double majoring is not going to help you. The way to become a CS professor is you need to get your PhD in computer science, which your double major or your minor in philosophy is not going to help you. You just need to figure out if you want to be a teacher or if you want to be an R&D person while you're an undergrad. And then you need to build a lot of relationships with computer science professors and figure out if the career that they've had is the career that you want to have. Guys, if there's one tip I can give you that will change your life, it's this. Figure out what you think you want to do for your career. Figure out what you might want to do for your career. Find the people who are already doing that and hang out with them and interview them and ask them questions. Hold on. It's like dark behind me and I feel like it's not helping my lighting situation. That's what you guys need to do. Find the people who are already doing the thing that you think you want to do for your career and hang out with them. Joseph, the goal is to... Oh, well, don't... Joseph, we'll talk offline about your project. You don't have to mention it in the chat. That's okay. We'll talk offline about it. But I think that you're a good person to feature in an episode because your project is going to give you, like you working on that project is going to give you good talking points when you meet people and when you network and when you build relationships. And it's going to allow you to stand out. And I think it's just a good example because I see a lot of engineers Googling about different engineering projects and things like that. Man, this mic. Mechatronics engineering, Faisal, is the combination of mechanical applications and electronics. So it's really like a direction in robotics. And it's really good. It gives you the tidbits about all the systems related to really robotics and mechanical engineering in general. And in combination with things like machine learning, automation, software, electrical engineering, circuits, computer engineering, all that sort of thing. So it's pretty good. I think that you have to have an interest in robotics for sure to be interested in it. But I think it has a highly, highly strong future for sure. Is it a significant difference? TS, thanks for the question. Is it a significant difference between a master's degree and a bachelor's degree in the sense of different amount of money yearly? No, it does not. What a master's degree truly provides you is the ability to become a niched expert, a specific expert in a subset of that engineering that you like. For example, if you choose mechanical engineering and you find that you fall in love with, say, automotive or aerospace engineering, or if you want to be a electrical engineer and you fall in love with a certain type of, like, say, actual power engineering, right? And you know that you want to have a career in this one field, then you should maybe get your master's degree in that so you can ensure that you have a specific career in that, or you're even more of a thought leader and an expert and your career goes in that direction. That's what the master's degree is for. And it will give you the ability to take promotions a little bit better because you're more of an expert. It will allow you to stand out a little bit more. You make a little bit more money, but not enough to justify it. You'll make like maybe $5,000 more, and it really doesn't pay because, again, you take an opportunity cost. You pay for expenses. You don't always, like I didn't pay for grad school, but I had to take delays on my loans and I had to pay for housing. You still have to pay to go to grad school, even if you get free tuition. But then the opportunity cost of not working for those 2 years is definitely over $100,000, regardless of the, like even for me, my civil engineering entry salary would be like $55,000 or $60,000. So I took an opportunity cost of like $120,000 just on losing out on that salary to go to grad school, right? So it's not about the money for sure. It's about like becoming an expert in a niche category and about having a leg up on people. But if you're not absolutely sure the type of engineering that you want, it's definitely not really advised that you do that, because how do you know if it's the one for you, right? And it further sort of supports this view that waiting, unless you're absolutely positive about the type of engineering that you want to do, waiting to go to grad school is not a bad thing at all, for sure. From what I know, DP, good question. From what I know, do you need a PhD to do research for a company that's not in academia, or is a master's enough? It depends on the field. So, for example, excuse me, guys. So you want to be in aerospace. I know that, DP. Jet Chano Porkins. David Plotnick. So I know that you want to be in aerospace. So, for example, if you want to do research for one of the big boys like NASA or SpaceX or Blue Origin, or even do high-level research for not necessarily be a professor, but you can even work in academia and be a full-time researcher. PhDs will help in all these categories. So if you want to do the highest level of research, getting a PhD is good. Master's degree is going to be fine. You're just going to be at a disadvantage compared to the people who do have master's degrees if you just want a research career. So if you know you want a research career, I would consider at least a master's, and then you can decide along the way if you fall in love with academic research and like publishing papers. That's the difference between academia research and company research. Is company is very held close. They don't want to release papers. It's their intellectual property. They don't really want to publish stuff. But academic world wants to publish, right? That's how they make money, by publishing more papers and speaking at conferences and things like that. What else we got here? So Adri Asif says, if someone is strong in math and physics but weak in chemistry. So really, it's at least in engineering. So all of the engineerings need to be strong in math and physics, but not all of them need to be strong in chemistry. Like if you want to go into the thermal element of mechanical engineering or aerospace engineering or chemical engineering, your chemistry needs to be a little bit stronger. But like me in civil engineering, I don't need any chemistry. I don't think electrical engineers might take Chem 2. Computer engineers might take Chem 2, but I don't think so. Somebody chime in here if they know. But like honestly, chemistry, it's just important to be taking chemistry as a high school student because it's hard. You don't necessarily need to be an expert in chemistry or take a bunch of chemistry as an engineer. Guys, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Kawhi, thanks for stopping by. Moneybags, I know you've been in here a bit. Gosa Yodan, thanks for stopping by. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Des, thanks again. Really, really glad. Des, how you use blogging to get a job is you leverage that blog to do interviews with companies in the focus area of your blog. Like, for example, Hamza Wahid has written 16 blog articles for his spot on 1% Engineer. He has a blog spot called Biomedical Mondays, and he's written 16 blog articles. So what he can do is he can start interviewing companies for the blog if he wanted, right? He could start building relationships with professors. He could start interviewing other people who lead organizations in the biomedical engineering community in his area, which he's in North Carolina. But that's how you can use it to build relationships. That's how you can use it to get opportunities. That's how you can use it to get jobs. You leverage that to build relationships, and it's a give. You're telling a story about this person, right? You're using that platform to give them attention and spread awareness about whatever they're working on. So that's how you use it to your advantage. What else do we have here? Joseph says, do I think the future of universities is with Khan Academy and more online universities? Absolutely. I think that the democratization of education is definitely, we're always going in that direction, bringing education to everyone. If you guys haven't noticed already, it's so much easier to get a master's degree. It's so much easier to get into software engineering. No problem, Des. It's so much easier to get into software engineering. It's so much easier to get into coding and programming because of these online boot camps. And for example, I know people like the course that and Matt Tran through Engineered Truth sells. It's a digital marketing class, which I think is like a blitz class. It's really fast, and who knows how much it costs, but you can get a job in digital marketing probably without even going to get a degree in marketing today. And like, for example, if I wanted to work with a professor or a PhD student in civil engineering, I could probably build like a whole curriculum for civil engineering and like start my own online university. Maybe I should do that, right? I could probably do that. Would it be accredited? Would the boards and like the accreditation bodies and the licensure bodies all support it and allow you to get your license through my program? Probably not. But like, there's a lot of engineering types that don't even require that at all. So, you know, like electrical engineers, they don't have to become professional engineers, or chemical engineers, they don't have to become professional engineers. Mason, I saw you had another good question. Let me scroll up to see where that is. Does getting a PhD in engineering help you? It can. It depends. In higher level, like I know bridge people and geotechnical people who work in engineering with their PhDs. I think in aerospace they have to get their PhDs. If you're in Europe or if you want to work in Europe, the master's degree is like the norm, the median type of education. So if you want to have any sort of advantage, the PhD definitely helps you. What else do we have here? Mason, here's another of your questions. Can an engineer get a job in a different field other than they went to college for? Absolutely. I talked about this quite a bit. You can shift around quite a bit. Marcos Saeed, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe. Man, I think you're new here. So I release a bunch of videos. This is episode 94 of the 1% Engineer Show. 94. Can you believe that, guys? Been doing this for almost a year. February 15th, this will be the 1 year anniversary. I'm trying to get to 100 episodes before the 1 year anniversary. Does anybody know the African American woman on the cover of the thumbnail? Do you know who that is? Could you tell? There's some details in the thumbnail that kind of indicated it, but I'm curious to see if you guys know. Moneybags, in my interview with Matthew Tran on his channel, you said that you wish you had learned more programming. How important is knowing how to code in civil engineering, and what are some good languages to learn? So the good languages to learn are C, C++, Java, Python, SQL. Those are the ones that you want to know. So what I talked about is just where I recognize the direction of jobs going, and I just see the value of coding and the value of computer science. And being able to write scripts and being able to automate anything being very, very high. Thanks, May. Being very high. Like I've had colleagues who I have the book. So they gave me Hidden Figures when I spoke at an event for the Society of Women Engineers at Drexel's. They gave me that Hidden Figures book. So back to the question. I think it's really good to be able to code in whatever engineering field you're in. That's actually what I encourage people to do. If you're not sure about major, get an engineering major and then just learn a lot of coding, because it will definitely help you, because everything is becoming automated and script-based, and you can find a way to use scripts and use programming and use computer science to make anything better and faster. You can also build your own products. Like say I recognized a problem in my office. I could build a web app or a mobile app to solve that problem, right? So that's development, but I can't do any of that if I don't know how to code. So it definitely helps. Landon Phillips, at what point is someone too sociable for engineering? No point. I think as long as you can accomplish the math and the science and you can do all that. Marco Saeed, so the rule is if I miss your question, you have to relink it, because now I'll have to go back and find it. Okay, what industry would a mechanical engineer have in the future? So Marco Saeed, I made a really awesome video about mechanical engineering lately. Let me go find that. I'm just going to link it to you right now. It's called What Do Mechanical Engineers Do? I break down 12 industries where you can have a career in mechanical engineering and also talk about what they do. Watch that video right there. Make sure you subscribe, because I release tons of videos like this on this channel, on this platform. So the next one I'm doing is electrical engineering. Can an introvert and a non-charismatic person be a leader? Yeah, absolutely. Leadership is learned. A lot of times it's actually the people who sit back and learn and they listen and they become the best person they can possibly be, who eventually become leaders. A lot of leaders, they grow into it. A lot of leaders, they start off as being quiet and they eventually just become that leader over time. They fill those shoes. Marco Saeed, I'm glad you've been watching. Thanks for subscribing. Guys, for the 29 people live right now, the way that you can best support this channel is make sure you like all the videos and make sure you comment on all the videos. Even if you don't have time to watch the full video, even if you don't have a whole lot to say, if you comment on videos, what it does is it helps the videos rank each time. So it helps more people find this. It helps me be able to help more engineers. So also join the 1% Facebook group. It's in the link. It's linked in the chat or in the description of the video right now, and you can see it in the stream. How you can find that if somehow you can't click on the link. What else, guys? I'm just getting as many questions as I can. What industry? I already answered that. Need some new fresh questions, guys. Go ahead and drop them in. Do companies, so this is Gamel's question, do companies care about how long it took you to get your degree? Nope. As long as you get your degree, definitely doesn't matter. You just need to get that degree. Good question. Yeah, I just got to that one. Love what you do. Very thankful. Thank you very much, Marco. Really appreciate it. Like this video, comment on as many videos, join the Facebook group, tell your friends. So Skywatcher, thank you so much. This is the first super chat I have ever given. So I've been thinking about doing like resume reviews or like a situation audit, but I've been thinking about ways to incentivize and reward super chat. Thank you so much, by the way. I really appreciate that. This channel only makes, with my 65,000 views a month, doesn't even make that much money every day. So you wouldn't believe like what a 2% does to what the channel is actually like earning, which is still just, a side thing because I still work full time. So Skywatcher, if you have a special question, how to become a zoo, that is your question. How to become a zoo habitat engineer. So I think what you should do, good question. I don't think zoo habitat engineer is actually like a type of engineer. I'm just going to Google that so I can actually answer your question in the best way possible because I really appreciate that super chat. Really appreciate it. So I don't really think it's a true type of engineer. Zoo Engineers by Prezi. Let's see what this platform says. So what I think the best way to be. So what do you mean? So do you want to like design the? Thanks, Skywatch. I really appreciate this question. This is a cool question. So what do you want to do? Do you want to work with the animals? Do you want to design zoos and work with like the environments for the animals? Like, let me know so we can really reverse engineer what you're trying to do, and then I can give you advice. Because I think if you want to work with the animals, there's really no type of engineering that's for that. I think you should be a botanist. You should get an undergraduate major in zoology, not botanist, that's plants, zoology, or maybe just biology, and then you should go to get a master's degree in how to handle animals, or I'm sure there's a degree out there that has a fit with working with zoos. So that's a good question. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. And guys, if you want to drop a super chat, what we can do is we can just take a deeper dive into your question. So I've never really, that's my first one ever, so I really appreciate that. So I'll give you guys, more time in your questions or resume reviews, things like that. Electrical and electronic engineers is really good. They work with all circuit boards within computer systems. They can work with any types of computer systems, so you can really work with anything. It depends on what type of what type of sector you want to work on, what you want to really be doing. If you want to work with circuit boards and the electronical systems and actually like the computer components within robotics systems, within solar panels, things like this, you can do a lot of different stuff. So Skywatcher, maybe you want to be a structural engineer then, right? Maybe I honestly think you should maybe be an architect then if you want to design zoo layouts and you just try to like intern at zoos and help them, maybe zoos that are under construction. I think that it's so niche that like there's kind of a finite amount of zoos that we can have in a certain country. Even in a place like America, I just don't think you can have a career that just does zoo stuff. I think you would maybe want to work for a company that designs zoos and a list of other things, but I think this is more of an architecture type thing or a structural. I don't even think it's really a structural engineering type thing. So I think maybe architecture, honestly, but it's so niche that I would be careful. What I think you should do is go to your zoo, call them up, Skywatcher, figure out who designs all of the types of or works on. Maybe they have somebody on staff. Maybe each zoo has somebody who is responsible for like making sure everything is working properly around the zoo. Figure out who designed it, who works with that stuff. And again, build a relationship with a person who's already doing the thing that you think you want to do and figure out what they did to reach that career, to get hired there, their career trajectory. That's what I think you should do. Is Khan Academy a good place to learn over the summer so you don't have to take the classes next year? No, you're not going to be able to replace engineering credits with Khan Academy credits. The only way to do that is to live at home and take community college credits and ensure that community college is accepted at your four-year engineering university. No problem, Skywatcher. That's the way. That's the only way. Or you can take as many AP credits, in high school, like you mentioned. so that you're getting college credit for your high school courses. That's the way. But Khan Academy, like an engineering school is not going to take Khan Academy credits unless there's something in that regard that I'm missing that I don't know about, but I just really doubt it. Engineering universities are businesses, like universities are businesses after all. They're all about making money. They need to make money. Can you please tell me how to be good in group discussion? So, Gyasidin, I mean, I recognize the language barrier here with that, but like you just got to put yourself in situations to become good at interpersonal skills, talking with people, building relationships with people. So go out of your way to put yourself in social environments. What you should be doing is joining clubs, going out to intramural events, going out to as many events, and just be around people. Put yourself in environments where you have to talk to people. That's how you become better. Seth Jordan, thanks for the question. What type of experience is an internship looking for? Well, I think what an internship is looking for is you already having some applicable skill sets for that internship. For example, if they use a type of software in their office, then you should have had training in that software. You should be building, like say you're a mechanical engineer and you want to be interning in an office that is mechanical engineering, then you should probably be working with SolidWorks. Or if you're a civil engineer, you should be learning how to draft. Or if you're a computer engineer, if you're a software engineer, you should be learning how to code in the languages, in the syntax that these companies who you're targeting, that they use, right? Like figure out what you are trying to do in that internship and start building up a portfolio and building up an expertise, building up a skill set in that. I've always listened to hip hop. I'm from Maryland. You know, Maryland is where Baltimore's from, so we get some good local artists. It also kind of, it's in that area where like hip hop music today kind of a lot of times comes out of the South. So I just feel like it's a little Southern influenced, but I was just influenced from the people around me in high school. Like as a lacrosse student, we listened to a little bit more hip hop. So I might take a 1 minute break here really quick, guys. Go grab some water. If you guys want to bail from the stream, that's okay. I'm actually going to keep it going. So why don't you fill up the stream with some questions? I'm going to take a 1 minute break. Go grab some water. Did we lose everyone? Nope. Wow. Okay, right back to the questions. It's okay. I just had to go get some water at me. So Seth, day in the life of a transportation engineer. We are like a highway design team, so I work a lot with CAD. I work a lot with really like designs. And like all the planning and the documentation of everything that goes into highway plans, pretty much day in the life. I think, I get there at 8, have a team, check in with my team leader, which, they're connected to the actual designs. They're connected to the actual designs of everything and like the schedule of everything. So there's a little bit of team coordination, maybe a meeting. We have a Monday morning meeting. I might have some other meetings. I have a remote transportation team, so we check in with them. So my day is mostly, honestly, just like me working independently at my desk, and then we all have a team. Like, we're all really working on group things. So you might need to check in with people like, hey, are you doing this or that? And like, somebody might be back checking your work, and you might have some emails to answer to. Honestly, yeah, mason jar all the time. Spilled water everywhere. But yeah, it's mostly like working independently, working with CAD, checking in with your team. Might have some meetings, might have to attend some email or address some emails. But really, it's just like office engineering work. I guess maybe I have the curse of knowledge, and it's hard to even explain it because I've been doing it for long enough. All right, guys, what other questions do you have? Charles Kahn says, I've always been interested in how things work, how they function, and applying my knowledge to design to create things. My thoughts on going for mechanical engineering and go for design. Yeah, I mean, Charles, I think what you should do within mechanical engineering is go towards the manufacturing side of things and designing the components that are within all types of products and systems. That's really what mechanical engineers do within design. So I think it's a great field. It's not going anywhere. Basidikai, I don't know how to say your name, sorry. How to become a cybersecurity engineer or network engineer? You probably need to major in computer science or software engineering because it's a heavy software-based fields. Skywatcher, you're welcome. Gasayudin says, can you please tell me how to be good in group discussion? Already got to that. Top 5 new grad tech companies to join as a software engineer. Adrian, great question. They're all the top companies that you see that are crushing it in branding. So Apple, here's the top 5. Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft are the top 5. How to become a network engineer. Already got to that. Hello. Oh, hey. Hello, I'm the chair. AMA. What does that mean? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Joel. Seth, what is the day in the life of transportation engineer? Already got to that. Imagine being on my team. You'd be surprised. I'm kind of, I'm way more fun and serious about, or way more into like this project. Me at work, I'm just kind of like drink coffee and do my work and just kind of get excited to come home and work on this project. So, but it would be cool. I think it would be cool to know you guys. I do wish there was a way for us to be doing this like in a live setting. If we all lived in the same city, that would be cool. Or eventually when this community gets bigger, I'll do live meetups, but I don't really live in the biggest of cities. Maybe if I live in Philly. But most 1% engineers are like California or Texas. I'm sure that was really loud in the mic, but whatever. What else you got here, guys? How do I ask professors for a position as a research assistant? Good question. So I think I've made some videos about this. I've definitely made some videos about this. It's okay. My GPA wasn't the best, and I landed some roles. May, this is what you need to do. Target a professor, because that's the type of thing that you want to learn more about, because that's the thing that you want to go to grad school in, or that's the type of field that you want to work in, okay? So target them. Start participating. Write all this down, okay? Start participating in class. Start to stand out. Start to show that professor that you want to really do well in their class and that you care about that class, right? So start to participate. Then also start to stay after class, ask another question, start to build extra relationship with not only that professor, but the other students who are staying after class. They're also the go-getters, the 1%ers. And then you'll be able to build relationships with them too. And those are the people that you want to study with. Those are the people that you want to do homework with and things like that. And then you also want to visit during office hours. So ask questions in class, participate. Stay after class and ask questions. Go to office hours and ask about assignments, homework, projects, exams, and that will help you to build a better relationship with them. And then eventually, after you do this for a little bit, you'll be able to just ask, hey, can I get involved with your undergraduate research? And maybe you can, especially if it's volunteering. Like if you have to get paid, that might be a barrier. It might be a little bit hard to get that position like right away. Maybe they do have funding though. You can probably help them write a grant or create a proposal yourself by like, hey, this is what I would do, this is what I would help you with, but you have to build a relationship with them first. And even if they don't have someone else, or even if they don't have a way for you to get involved, after you build a relationship with them, this is why it's key, they can most likely connect you to someone that they know in the university network that needs you, right? So that's how you do it. Is it hard to get an engineering job? No. TS, are you in Pennsylvania or Maryland or Jersey? Is it hard to get an engineering job? Matt Masuolo, I don't know how to say your name. Escobar, thanks for the question. No, I think you just need to network and you need to stand out and you need to build relationships with people who are gatekeepers. No problem, May. Guys, if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give a thumbs up. Smash the like button for this live stream. I want more engineers to find it. I want more engineers to find this video. Make sure when the stream is over, you go to the video because I keep it and add a comment like, this was a great live stream and stuff like that and say, hey, thumbs up. I love this. And I think I'm going to be doing this more often. So if you can make Saturday live streams, Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time, drop it in the chat right now. Say Saturday is good for me. And guys, if you have your questions, any question you have, drop it in. Because I think we're through all the questions for right now. So send in your final questions. Again, the reason why this video is entitled what it is, the best engineering majors, is because I think it's the most common question I get, and I think it's so important to choose a major based on what you like, where your interests are, where your skill sets are, not necessarily what you think makes the most money, not necessarily what you think is going to have the best job future. I really believe that that's the key to success. Thanks, Lauren. I'm glad that Saturdays are good for you because this is definitely okay with my schedule. Absurdus. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad that you were there for all the original live streams. Really glad that you can do your homework and listen to the live streams. That's awesome. Live streaming is such a good way to find new people for this channel and really boost watch time and really get good engagement because everybody gets an email when they subscribe to the channel, and when I go live they get an email about it. So I see lots of really good boosts after streaming live, which is why I do this for like 2-3 hours. Like I just go and rip and I don't have a problem. I've never taken a break on mid live stream like that before. I know we lost some people, but whatever. So what else? What other questions do you guys have? I want to see some more chat engagement. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to make lunch and go and clip the stream. So let me know what other questions you guys have, or mention how I did a poll in the Facebook group lately, which I'm gonna go over there to see how many people have asked to join. Since 2 more people join the Facebook group linked in the description below. The poll, I asked them, what do you guys want to do a competition on? And they said, most people said how they chose their engineering major to submit their story. The next one, 15 people said student or engineering vlogs. And then the next one, which got half the amount, they said, I want to do a story about my favorite engineering project. So who wants to be involved in a competition for submitting the story of how you chose your engineering major? I want to hear the stories of how you chose your engineering major and do a competition. Probably some sort of gift card, probably some sort of giveaway that's associated with that competition. I want to know who wants to do that and who would participate in a how you chose your engineering major type challenge or competition. That's definitely what I want to do. Adrian, so oh yeah, you did miss the answer to the question. So here are the top 5 new tech companies to work for: Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft. Those are the top 5, like without question. Airbnb, Uber, they make the top 10 list. How you should take notes for classes is use the Cornell method for note taking, where you take most of your notes in the main page, and then at the bottom you summarize what that page is about, and then over to the left you bullet like the core topics. Like this part of my notes is about that. So that way when you're flipping through, you can find the bullet points of what your notes is about, and you have the summary from each page at the bottom. That's how you should take notes. Saturday is good for live streaming. That's really good. Saturdays are good. Saturdays are good. Yep. Looks like Saturdays are going to be good with me so why don't you guys can't you do it during the week? Is it because you're doing homework? That sort of thing? Probably. If you're new here, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I think I'm about to curb this. So if you have any final questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll get to your questions. If you haven't joined the 1% Engineer Facebook group, then go ahead and find that in the description below. I want you guys in the tribe. Telecom engineering, you should be an electrical engineer. It's a good field. It's definitely not going anywhere. How can you start waking up at 4:30 a.m.? Start going to bed early, and you'll be able to wake up at 4:30. And then what you do is you start waking up at 4:30 no matter what. and then you force yourself to do it, and then you'll get tired at 8, you'll be able to go to bed at 9, and then you'll wake up again at 4:30. And once you get in the routine, you will just keep doing it. You get into the habit. I got a couple of glasses questions. So these are Boss Orange. Pretty sure. Boss Orange. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. Can you see that? I can't tell. So that's that. Thanks for that question, Adrian. Matt Sylvester. Which engineering field has the most work and the least amount of office, most field work? So if you want to do field work, Matt, you should do construction engineering and management. You should do geotechnical engineering. You can do bridge inspection, things like that. Things that are attached to infrastructure or construction, like railroad inspection stuff, working with power lines, things like that. Yeah, schoolwork, I guess that's the reason why people don't want to do it during the week. Sounds good. So send in your final questions, guys. Thoughts on net neutrality? I mean, I'm not going to hate on Ajit Pal. I think net neutrality is really bad. I'm really concerned because as a power user of data, like look at all the internet bandwidth that my apartment is using because I'm live streaming video, right? Like, and for over 2.5 hours, like I would be somebody that they would either slow me down so much to make me pay for higher streams. I'm also uploading so much web content, so I'm afraid of what net neutrality can become. I'm not going to fearmonger and like worry about it. I'm just going to keep right on living. But I don't agree with net neutrality. I think it's really bad what happens. I'm glad you asked me that because I think as engineers, we're all power internet users, and this is not good. This is big business like Comcast and Verizon trying to control, trying to enforce politics and enforce their own control and will on U.S. politics and in government. That's what I really believe in, is that these companies are leveraging their financial power to sway politicians and sway government officials. I really do believe that that's what's going on. So I don't think net neutrality is very good. Seth says, what would I advise doing as a sophomore in college aiming to go for civil engineering? I think you should take any tech electives associated with civil engineering. I think you should internship with civil engineering firms. I think you should build relationships with all the civil engineering professors, like the people who teach steel and concrete design and the ones who do transportation and do foundations and structural analysis and structural design. Build relationships with them. Always build relationships with people who are way ahead of you on the career journey, and that includes professors. So I think that's really important. Conduct informational interviews with people who are in the field. Go to lots of civil engineering networking events, join a club, do all the same things, but all for civil engineering. So I'm going to clip the stream here, guys. I think I'm getting a little hungry. I'm going to go have some lunch. Thank you so much, 1% Nation, for stopping by. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you get in the Facebook group. Make sure you leave a like on as many videos as possible. Make sure you comment on as many videos as possible. And make sure you share this stuff with a friend. I think it's really important to share the videos around with people as much as possible. YouTube tracks the amount of times that these videos get shared, and it boosts the channel, and it helps put the videos in front of more people, and it helps everything surge. And I've had amazing growth over the last 11 months of this project, and really it could not be more about you, 1% Nation, and showing up to these live streams and being there in the Facebook group and commenting on videos and liking videos and just being a part of this community and being a part of this tribe. And that's why I continue to call it tribe, because it really is all about you guys. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We're going to do a competition pretty soon about your story. I'm starting with your story of how you chose your engineering major or how you chose your engineering focus of choice. So make sure you join the Facebook group. You stay tuned about that. I probably will not do some sort of an announcement on social media besides in the Facebook group. I just want that community to participate in it. DP says, I think is there a reasonable limit spent time on competitive teams? Space Hardware Club says that people spend 10 hours a week in addition to homework. Yeah, I think that's fine. They just want people who are dedicated to it. They want people who can actually commit. So if you want to be, a leader in the team eventually, then you should commit time. Thank you, Des. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, RDS. Thank you, May. Thank you, Absurdus. Thank you, Seth. Thank you for being here in TravelX. If you have a question today, what's up? I know I'm about to clip the stream. I'm actually about to leave TravelX, so if you have a question for today, go ahead and drop in the chat. But DP, I don't think 10 hours a week is outside of normal. I think you could spend an hour a day and then say they have like a club meetup or whatever once a week. That'll be 2, 3, 4 hours. Hey, Kawhi, no problem. Thanks for stopping by. Guys, please like as many videos as possible, comment on videos, and share these videos with a friend. Share them on Reddit. Share these videos on Reddit. I really have trouble tapping into the Reddit community because they don't want people, they think I'm trying to sell them stuff, which is not the case. So go ahead and share the videos. Again, thank you so much, 1% Nation. I really appreciate everything that you have done for this tribe, everybody who's out here. I'm going to try to stream on Saturdays as much as possible. I think I'm going to stream once a week no matter what. If I can't make a live stream appearance on Saturdays, we'll do it on another day. So thanks again, 1% Nation. If you have a question, leave it in the rebroadcast. Join the Facebook group. Like this video, comment below, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Stay hungry on your quest to become a 1% engineer. Peace, guys. Later.